We're live! Hello! Hello, chat! Oh, I need to change this to live chat, not top chat. Boink. Hello! I think I'm live. I never trust things anymore, because every time I try to do one of these, there's horrible, horrible tech issues. What's up, Dane? How's it going? Dracon, Cam, Doctor, hello, hello, hello. Let me grab my Discord real quick, make a quick little boop in there. We're live. Come ask questions. Cool. Hello! Hello, Doctor. Hello, Nyrufa. Hello, Clockwork General Knight. Oh, that is a little bit louder than I expected it to be. Shh. Zelda music. Zelda music. Shush, 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 shush. Yo, was good. I gotta orient myself better. Because I know I got you guys on screen. I did it. I kerfangled mernangled it, and now you're on screen. This needs to go away. What's up? What's up, James? Good to see you, my man. Hello, 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 hello. Yes, hello. Oh, I am shocked at the turnout. I'm not gonna lie. I am super impressed by our turnout here today, y'all. We've got freaking over 40 people in here, and the stream hadn't even started yet. Like, that's a good sign. What's up? There's the girlfriend. What's up, Kay? What's up, Olive? What's up, Cam? Will, Cactus Boy, Mabs, General Knight, Shaman, Jack, Hills, Michael, Dracon, Nathan. I said some people twice. That's okay. How's everyone been? I haven't done a live stream in like a month. I'm trying to think of or I guess that's not true. I did Elden Ring, but I haven't done like a TTRPG related live stream in a long while. Perfect timing. Our session of Scion just ended. Many children of Eris are going on family picnic in London. Ooh, neat. Gonna have me in the background while doing prep. Do it up. Get that prep. Get that campaign prep. My prep is 5 minutes of effort right before the session every week. What's this? A no-nut stream? What? That's me. Also, is there gonna be freaking ads? No, okay, that's not good. Also, if you are of age and a legal adult, you may join me as this is going to be a drinking stream, which means as the stream goes on, I am going to get very quickly much more unadvertiser friendly. I'm not gonna be swearing or nothing, but we're just gonna be getting tipsy, having some fun. My drink of choice, because people always like to know, is the Victory Sour Monkey Sour Tripel. It's delicious. It tastes like sour apples, and it'll mess you up because it's 10%. So cheers to everyone drinking along. Cheers to everyone not drinking along. Just because you can't or won't doesn't mean you're not welcome here. This is a Q&A stream. I just looked up like best Zelda music in the background. I figured that'd be cool. Why not? Become unmonetizable. So 1 out of 10, how excited are you for Dragon Ancestries? About an 8. I'm really tentative. I know Mark's a genius. Steven's a great design head of everything. I'm still curious how they're gonna pull it off. Seeing all these different dragons, all as different heritages of the ancestry with like 200 feats for the ancestry, it sounds insane. So we'll see how it goes. If I can ask, will you do Twitter questions first? I am doing Twitter questions first, yes. Those of you who don't know, I am on Twitter at NoNat1s, and I posted on Twitter about just yesterday, like, hey, if you want me to answer any questions, leave them now. So I'm gonna go get those questions, because there weren't too many. Where were they? And so yeah, if you want like first dibs on questions and stuff, you should probably go follow me at NoNat1s on Twitter, I'm just saying. So we'll start with these. How would you implement a shape changer ancestry like the 5e changeling? I've been trying to build something using the succubus and other change shape ancestry abilities, but it's hard to make something that feels balanced and not like giving a second level spell for free. I think the best way to do a shape changer would be to give it something similar to the Beastkin's beast form, where it's very flavorful and it can be useful, but you can't make it overpowered. I think the best way to do it would be to give them an ability with a deception or perception DC that scales with their level. So like if you're level 1, like anybody might be able to see through your shape change with like a DC 15. And maybe just increase it with your level. I don't know exactly how easy that would be, if you would have to consider it a spell DC. But I think giving it a DC, maybe even a flat DC that you need to take future feats to improve. Like it never goes above a 15 at first, but you can take feats that increase it to like 20, 25 or whatever. That'd be interesting. First question, what are you drinking? Sour Monkey. Sour Trapel. Is 10%. It's gonna mess me up. What is this? Can someone tell me what this is? Just so I can get, I hope you can see, I think you can see that. What am I looking at? Am I allowed to show this on YouTube? What is a glep? I don't have an opinion because I have no idea. Yo, what's up, gamer girl? Good to see ya. If you can implement any 5E subclass into 2E, Battlemaster. Absolutely Battlemaster. It's already somewhat in the game with the Martial archetype, but it's not quite the same. The Martial has to, like, make diplomacy checks to do stuff, which is cool, don't get me wrong. But having a subclass that could be like, hey, I'm spending a resource to give you an extra attack would be super cool. I would love that. It would have to be its own feat chain in the fighter subclass, or the fighter class, because fighters don't have subclasses. So it would need to be different feats, probably very similar to the martials. They would honestly have to be focus spells, because Pathfinder 2e has, in its design, removed different types of resources outside of spell slots. The only exception being once per day abilities. You know, you're not going to see superiority die. You're not going to see hit die for short rest kind of thing. There's just spell slots and focus points are the only resources outside of once per day, once per hour, whatever. So, I would love to see Battlemaster. It would be very complicated to do without making them focus spells. Would you rather fight 10 kobold-sized dragons or 1 dragon-sized kobold? I'm gonna say the dragon-sized kobold because it can't fly. I might be able to outrun it or outsmart it. 10 kobold-sized dragons, it doesn't matter that they're kobold-sized. They're smart, they still have breath weapons, and they can fly. I'm gonna take my chances with a single kobold.
Open your eyes.
I didn't know they were closed. I think this is Breath of the Wild music. It just took me off guard. Oh, Simurg the Persian with the 260 donation. Oh, hold on. I'll let the thing read it. Hold on. Oh no, it was.
That's so cool.
There we go. We got there.
Is Liberator Champ with Gladiator Archetype good?
Is Liberator Champ with Gladiator Archetype? So I have some mixed feelings about the Gladiator Archetype. I think the Gladiator Archetype is super flavorful, but is it strong or good? Not really. But if you're just looking to fill an archetype, like especially if you're playing free archetype, absolutely go for it. Like, Gladiator's a ton of fun. The hardest part about the Gladiator is that it's difficult for your GM. Your GM is going to need to make decisions about whether or not you have spectators. Because if you're not aware, everything the Gladiator archetype does requires spectators. And it's up to the GM to determine what a spectator is. Thank you. Honestly, Simurg, thank you for donating. So that also brings a good point. If you have any questions that you are burning to get answered, like Diva, if you have any questions that you are burning to get answered, the best way to ask them is through a super chat. That is the most likely way I will get to see them.
Why did I get an advertisement for perfume when loading this stream? Are you telling me I smell bad?
Yes. Next question. Rise of the Rule Lords asks, what you thinking about? My answers to these questions. Next question. What's your favorite dual class option for each rogue? I can't go into each rogue subclass, but my favorite dual class for rogue... Oh, it's gonna sound boring. Everyone's gonna hate me for it. I hate me for it. It's fighter. Fighter rogue is disgusting. Critical sneak attacks all day long. Ridiculous. A fighter thief rogue would be nasty. What are your thoughts on the variant rules now that time has passed? I have still not played Stamina, so I don't know about that one. I never play without free archetype. Free archetype is the norm. And automatic bonus progression is underrated. Automatic bonus progression is an incredible variant rule. If you've not played with it, try it. And the last Twitter question. What do you think would be the best way for Paizo to handle the Darklands? Probably write them. Write about the super cool, scary monsters underneath and the unique cultures and civilizations that live below and how they differentiate from a land covered in sun. Simple as that. All right, cool. We are now going to move into chat questions. Who are over here? Thank you for bearing with me. Let's talk chat. No, not once. What do you think of a half? Oh, hold on.
Cool.
Are you excited for Book of the Dead / what are you looking forwards to most?
Ooh, I'll get to that, Corey. What do I think of a half Yosoki, half goblin? That'd be pretty cool. It's it would basically just be a furry goblin with like a little rat nose, and I'm here for it. Corey Archer, thank you for the $5 tip. So am I excited for Book of the Dead? Duh. Yes, absolutely. Oh, yo, this is Body's theme from Minish Cap. Oh, let's go. So here's a little thing. I'm allowed to say this. I already have Book of the Dead. Dude, the ominous music behind that. Somebody just clip that. But yes, I do have Book of the Dead. I will not be spoiling anything yet, but I will be spoiling things on Wednesday. My favorite thing so far that I'm looking forward to getting into, like, the world, yeah, I'll spoil this. New animal companions. I'm gonna leave it at that. That's all I'm gonna say. New animal companions. Thank you for the tip. Blissy, what is your #1 PF1 class archetype you'd want to see in PF2 for each class? Oh, geez, that's rough. See, I don't know enough about PF1 is the problem. I'd love to see Scald make a return, even though that was a separate class. See, I don't know PF1 class archetypes is the problem. Music looks loud. Is music loud? I'm gonna turn the music down a little bit. Otherwise, like, I don't know. I don't know about enough. I'd love to see the Blood Mage or whatever it was called. Not the Blood Mage. The Sorcerer Barbarian. Blood Rager. I'd love to see Blood Rager come back as a Sorcerer Barbarian class archetype. I do hope they do that. I think a way Pathfinder could make these classes come back is not as new classes, not even as, like, normal archetypes, but make them Dragon Roost. Make them make them class archetypes only available to those classes. Make the Scald a class archetype that only barbarians and sorcerers, or barbarians and bards can take. Blood Rager, only barbarians and sorcerers. Like that. What is 2E's biggest weakness? Probably the core rulebook. Not because it's, like, not the rules within, the organization of it. I know a friend of mine who still plays with me every week. He almost did not give the game a try because the core rulebook was so poorly organized. He wanted to play a character who does crafting. So, like, the rules for crafting are in downtime activities. They're not related to the crafting skill section. And then if you want to check out what you can craft, it's in treasure. It was awful.
Super important question time.
Okay.
Do you dip your fries in your sundae?
Not often, but I do occasionally. I honestly don't usually get ice cream and food when I go, I don't usually get ice cream and my brain, like, savory foods when I go to fast food. If I do, absolutely, I will dip at least one fry in a sundae. But usually if I go to, like, Wendy's or McDonald's, I'll get, like, meal food or dessert. Rarely both. Very rare. Like, once a year, rarely. Will, with another $5 donation. You guys are generous today. Thank you. I wanted to see if it'll read it out. No? Text-to-speech not gonna read Will's donation? Will, it doesn't want to read your donation. I'm clicking, like, the reread button. Does it think Inquisitor is, like, a bad word? Well, what if Inquisitor as a champion subclass? Maybe? I still think I'd rather see it as a Cleric. Like, I guess it would be, like, a neutral champion that's just bent on dealing with divine problems. But I don't know. I can see where you're coming from. Like, from the mechanics of the Inquisitor, it could make sense as a champion, especially because it's a more combat-focused class. But I still think I'd rather see it for Cleric with medium armor proficiency and a different scaling than the War Priest. Dipping fries in Sundays, you friggin' animal? Yes. Currently having Wendy's spicy nugs and a McDonald's milkshake? You can't do both! You're gonna get attacked! Someone's gonna mug you. He talks about rules more than anything. Who does? Me? Probably. What was your favorite session as a player? Oh, God, my single favorite session I've ever played? That's impossible. I can't. Like, I have tons of memorable sessions, and I like them all for different reasons, but I don't think any of them are my favorite. The one that's coming to mind is the... You know what? The one that's coming to mind right now... okay, yes. I actually do have a favorite. Not because it's, like, super cool or anything, but me and my friends were playing Shadowrun. We were playing Shadowrun, and we had all docked in, or jacked in, or whatever it's called, where you go into virtual reality, which is its own feature. Thank you, Xander, for the donation.
Who were your biggest high school crushes and have they changed since?
I'll get to that. So me and my friends, our whole party had docked in, and we were in this, like, first-person shooter VR world where we were using the in-system combat in a virtual reality setting, which was cool. And I had a character with super high perception, so I found an invisible wall, which had a super high-caliber sniper rifle behind it. We get through, we do one combat, we get to this final area, and my GM starts giving this big VR villain monologue. He's this big, like, Western cowboy, like, y'all shouldn't have come here. And in the middle of his monologue, I say, I shoot him. And he goes, why? I'm like, I want to shoot him. He's like, I didn't get to finish my monologue. And I say, I shoot him. And he's like, okay, damn, roll your attack. And I roll max damage on this overpowered sniper rifle and one-shot the boss. And my GM has never forgiven me.
Upcoming travel guidebook for Inner Sea coming September. It will look at culture ECT. Ooh. Are you just as excited?
But man, it was so funny. Just I happened to roll max damage, and Shadowrun is a very like realistic system. So I think I did like 6 or 7 damage, but that was lethal in Shadowrun. So it was hilarious. Xander Online. I'll replay the message.
That's so cool.
Who were your biggest high school crushes and have they changed since?
Who were my biggest high school crushes and have they changed since? So I won't name actual names because that's really rude to the people involved. I will call them Jocelyn, Maria, and Chandler. My first girlfriend, Jocelyn, ended up getting with someone who is now one of my closest friends. We didn't know each other too well in high school, but after they broke up, actually before they broke up, we started hanging out. And then after they broke up, me and him actually ended up becoming really good friends, which was such an interesting way to connect with someone. Maria's a story. Maria, I dated for a couple months, but I was like 14, and she was 15, so, you know, she was way more mature. And 14-year-old me is like, I like hanging out with this person and playing video games. This is fun. And then she wanted to be all, like, cutesy and kissy and stuff, and I'm like, ew, I'm a child. No. So she broke up with me.
Pick the next location to get a low book like Mango Expanse did. Where did you pick?
I don't know where she's at. Jocelyn has 2 kids and is doing well. Maria, I have not heard from in about a decade. And then Chandler, well, we never actually got together, but I did court her for months. And then I asked her out in the rain, and she said, I'll think about it. And I went, she's doing well, though. She's doing really, really well. Alright, next one.
That's so cool.
So I saw upcoming travel guidebook for Inner Sea coming September. It will look at culture ECT. Are you just as excited?
So I wish I was. I love the lore books for Pathfinder, and I always make sure I get the PDFs in case I ever need inspiration. But I don't have the time or attention span to read these lore books top to bottom. I will check them out for the mechanics. You know, I will find the unique archetypes and animal companions, and I'm so grateful they include those in the lore books. But unfortunately, just due to who I am as a person and how my brain works, I'm not as excited as some people are. But I do love getting to hear people being excited about it, if that makes sense. I love hearing people be excited for something, even if I'm not super excited for it. Chivalrous Walrus. Thank you. Thank you guys all so much for the tips. Oh my god, this is really, really generous.
Hey Nonat, if you could pick the next location to get a low book like Wangi
A Lost Omens
where
book.
would you
Oh
pick?
man. If I could pick the next location to get a Lost Omens book. I think it's not that, like, crazy. I'd like to know, you know what? No, I was gonna say Taldor, because Taldor is such an expansive region, but I'm gonna say Qadira. I want to know more about Qadira and the fictional Middle East, as it were, the deserts, the cities, the culture there. My first PF2 campaign, I ran in Qadira, and there was like no information about that place. Even PF1 has very little information about Qadira and beyond. But I want to know more. I guess along that same line, they could probably include the trade road that goes across the pond. I can't remember the other names of the cities there, but I love Qadira, and I'd love a Lost Omens book dedicated to it. Yes, Qadira needs love. Thank you. Hi, Daz. All right. Okay, asking the real questions here.
What was your first fictional crush?
I'm gonna turn the music down a bit. My first fictional crush, at least that I can remember. Let me know if that's too low. Let me know if that volume's too low. My first fictional crush was Ember from Danny Phantom. And I probably had some before her, but that was the first one I can remember, being like 10 to 12 years old and seeing Ember and like her flashy design, and the song she sings is a banger. Oh my word, Ember from Danny Phantom is just nice. Let's see. What kind of module would you like to see published next? Age of Ashes was classic. COE was Dungeon Crawler. COE? Wait, what was COE? COE. It's not Abomination Vaults. COE? Yeah, I was never into Raven much. I was never into Raven or Starfire as a childhood crush. What is COE? Oh, my brain. What is COE?
That's so cool.
My brain! Somebody help me!
As much as
Somebody
I
help
respect
me!
You're wanting everyone to be comfortable. I do think you need to address
Curse of Extinction. Extinction Curse. Oh, that's why it was not happening. Oh my god. You think Extinction Curse was a dungeon crawler? I would not describe
Tipping
Extinction
just
Curse
for
as a
the
dungeon
Ember
crawler.
love.
Oh my word. Yeah, tipping just for Ember love. Thank you, Diva. Hold on, Ezra. I'll replay yours. Thank you for the generous $10.
So cool.
Weapon Improviser Ruffian. Let's go.
As much as I respect your wanting everyone to be comfortable, I do think you need to address slavery's removal from a roleplay and storytelling perspective, as it does harm both.
Hard disagree. It's not necessary. If you want to include it in your game, go for it. It makes enough people uncomfortable. It is not safe to publish. It makes a lot of people uncomfortable. And if you think other people need to include it in their games, you're wrong. End of story. A Weapon Improviser Ruffian Rogue, any tips? Thinking of going Versatile Human to pick up Martial Weapon Proficiency at level 2 and grab Weapon Improviser at level 2. I need to remind myself about the Weapon Improviser. Do you need Martial Weapon? Do you need Martial Weapon Proficiency for this? Improvised Weapon may begin closer. Yeah, so why would you need Weapon Expertise for that? Why would you need to up or Weapon Proficiency? Why would you need Martial Weapons if you're going to go Improvised? Are Improvised Weapons considered simple? Because that's another thing. Ruffians can't sneak attack with Martial Weapons. They have to be simple. Improvised weapons are simple weapons. Yeah, so you wouldn't even need the,
That's so
you would not even need the...
Are tenets of chaos and law a possibility?
You wouldn't even need the weapon proficiency, unless you want to have a martial weapon on hand. Are tenets of chaos and law a possibility? Probably. I'm going to go on a limb and say almost definitely. I think Paizo is taking their time because neutral champions are going to be incredibly difficult to do. But I think we will get a tenet of chaos and a tenet of law, and the neutral champions will be able to pick one or the other.
That's so cool.
Oh my word, so many tips. Ah, thank you!
Favorite archetype for Cleric?
Favorite archetype for Cleric. Archetype, ooh.
That's so cool.
Oh,
Haste.
God.
Non-at preach.
Non-at preach. I just love that it calls me non-at. Favorite archetype for Cleric. That's a tough one. Probably Eldritch Archer. No, I was a fighter for that. Never mind, what am I saying? Maybe just... If I'm going, like, if I'm specifically making a heal bot, probably Blessed One. Blessed One archetype is insane because Lay on Hands is so powerful and scales with your level. So for 1 feat, you can just get Lay on Hands forever. That's a tough one, though. I don't know enough archetypes off the top of my head. But that or probably a second spellcasting archetype for some new spells. Maybe some arcane or occult spells in there. Idiot Game Master. Oh. Is it really not going to read yours? Because it... Weird. Idiot Game Master, I don't think it's going to let me play yours because the automatic censor is censoring the word idiot in your name. That's ironic. Anyway, what class do you like seeing the most in your party? What classes do you like seeing the least? So, class is a lot harder for me to describe. The type of character, it depends on what campaign I'm going for. I do not like cliches. Which is ironic because I've made a post a while back that's like cliches are cliches because they work.
That's not how I meant it. I wasn't saying everyone should necessarily use it.
As
just
for
that it should be available as an option for role-playing
classes,
storytelling.
I love to get a bard, but I don't like having a bard, if that makes sense. You know, I feel like it's so overplayed. Oh, I seduce the dragon. Oh, I have an 18 charisma. I have a nice butt. I don't know. That's so old for me at this point. Like, I'm not poo-pooing on people who still find it funny. Like, absolutely, live your dreams. But even Ka doesn't like it. I don't know if you can do that. Ka, calm down. There's a dog outside. I know. Oh my god, I'm falling behind on all these tips.
And if so, what's your favorite?
But what classes do I like seeing? There's so many chats.
Not a question, but dare you to dye your hair purple for 20k subs.
That would be a lot more money to dye my hair purple. What class do I like seeing the most? I like unique classes, which isn't even necessarily a class. I like things that go beyond the norm. I like a weird intelligence-based fighter who uses recall knowledge. I like a strength-based ranger, a strength-based rogue. I like a dex-based champion. These weird character concepts that aren't the norm always make me super interested. But beyond the class they're playing, I'm much more interested in the personality of the character they're trying to play and whether they will buy into my world. Joke characters are cool and all, but if the player is just like, my character's name is Wee Wee Herman and he likes to talk about his junk, and that's all he does, I'm like, cool, welcome to the story, I guess, Wee Wee. Just don't mess anything up. I don't care about your character. I like Dr. TNT's question out to do this. Have you played a meme character? And if so, what's your favorite? So, I've never played an outright meme character. I actually have a problem where I make too serious of characters. I don't even try to make them serious, but they always end up, like, emo, damaged, or really angry all the time. I don't know why. I don't do it on purpose. That's just how they form. Because I usually give them, not like tragic backstories, but like dark backstories, so there's something to work off.
That's so cool.
I'll wait for this to read out.
Regarding bards, do you like politicizing bards? Think ones fueled by intrigued, maybe seductive, but skilled schemers, less so the stereotype bard.
My favorite character that started only as a half meme. His name was Ezekiel Pondwater the 16th. And this campaign, this is about, I'd say about 10 to 15 sessions into the campaign. I had been playing a monk up to this time. It's a 3.5 game, and I'm like, this is really boring. I don't want to play a... I'm going to start muting the alerts, actually, and then I'll play them when I read them. That should help a lot. So Ezekiel, this whole campaign has taken place in the 9 Hells, specifically the city of Dis. So all of us were playing as devils. Like, my monk was a chain devil. Our artificer was an ink devil. Super cool. I didn't like the monk, though. I wanted to play something else. My GM allowed me to make a new character. We wrote my current character out of the game. And my new character, Ezekiel Pondwater the 16th, was a human wizard who woke up in hell one day. And he's just a little bit of an old man who is very confused. He's not, like, senile, but he just liked magic and needed to know why he was in hell. And I very much played him that way, as the old human wizard who's like, well,
I'm in hell. I might as well learn a few things while I'm here. He was just very intrigued by everything. So it's still not a total meme, but for this, in the context of that campaign, definitely a meme. Regarding bards, do you like politicking bards? Fueled by intrigue? Yeah, so I don't mind the use of tactical seduction, especially in a case like... Oh, good, it still shows up on screen. Awesome. I don't mind tactical seduction. I don't mind the use of it. It is still a life skill that can be utilized, especially in political subterfuge, using it as a distraction, using it to get in someone's good graces. Absolutely. The issue I have is with people who are like, haha, sex funny, haha, sex dragon funny. That's what I'm not into. But yeah, a bard who's like super schemy and can like weasel their way into the upper class, I love them. Also, Ka really wants you all to see her bear. So if I click this, will it still read it out? Nonat likes sad boy bards confirmed. They don't have to be sad. I just don't like... and this goes beyond tabletop RPGs. This goes into my sense of humor. On the right time, at the right day, especially after a number of these, I don't mind sex humor. I mean, a lot of y'all were there for Hoof Daddy. But... on a typical day, 9 times out of 10, jokes that are haha sex funny aren't funny to me. I see you, Ezra. Again, it makes people uncomfortable. Please stop bringing it up. I appreciate the donation. It's very nice of you, but it makes people uncomfortable. Some of those people might be in this chat. We're dropping it. Thank you. Gonna GM Pathfinder 2e Pills Hut. Gonna DM Pathfinder 2e for the first time. It'll be a beginner box. All players coming from 5e. Any quick tips or hints? Consider using pre-gens. It's not a requirement, but if people just want to play the beginner's box, which you can play through in like 2 hours, if you just want to learn the system, don't be afraid to use pre-gens. Now, if you're considering taking this adventure and moving it and flowing it straight into a longer campaign, maybe don't use pre-gens. Make your own characters for that sake. But, yeah, consider using the pre-gens and don't focus on learning everything at once. Feel free as the GM to let your players know ahead of time that, hey, the beginner's box is going to teach you things one step at a time. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to spoil, like, oh, this fight's teaching you attack rolls. This fight's teaching you resistance. You know, you don't need to break the fourth wall like that. But let them know what they're getting into with the beginner's box and be like, yeah, this is basically a 2-hour tutorial on how this game works. And if you really just want to jump in and learn it nice and simple, use the pre-gens. Do you think it would be possible to make a good Gaia the Fierce Knight, mounted martial with dual wields lances? Lances are they one-handed or two-handed? The lance, and thank you everyone for the generous donation. This is all incredibly kind. Thank you. Yeah, so lances are two-handed. So unfortunately, as written, that would not work. You could dual-wield spears, though. You could dual-wield long spears. Are there any martial spears? What's the dueling spear? That's also two hands. I think the long spear is also two-handed. No, so you would have to dual-wield either tridents or spears. And normal spears don't have reach. So as far as dual-wielding reach weapons, I don't think you can. You can still get mounted. You could still have a lance. You could make a jouster very, very well. Heck, if your GM let you, you could have a riding drake companion and go Gaia the Dragon Champion with the riding drake animal companion. That would be super cool. Secret doggo. Bonus doggo. Look at the bonus dog. Hello, bonus dog. Hello, bonus dog. Yeah, I think you could, but you'd have to settle for one lance instead of two. Ancestry you would like to see. Any you would like to see get the same treatment as the dragons? Oh man, like some crazy out there stuff. Like some crazy out there ancestry that might not even exist yet. It's hard because they technically already exist. I would love to see official Drow and Duragar. Not just cave elves, not just cavern dwarves. I want full-on drow and Duragar. And deep gnomes. Give me, Svirfneblin. Give me playable Svirfneblin. Those are the 3 ancestries I would kill to see. Svirfneblin, Duragar, and drow. Like, even just make them heritages. That's fine. But I want them to have something unique to them besides Dark Vision. You know what I'm saying? $5 because I want to share my story. I once played an elf wizard that was completely convinced he was a druid. How does that even work? They need to study their spells. Did he only study spells that were on Arcane and Primal? I love that. That is a brilliant character idea, Andrew. Holy cow. I'm going to grab another drink. I'll be right back. We are officially caught up on the alert, so I'll be right back. Am I hyped for Outlaws of Alkenstar? Is that Starfinder? If so, I've never played Starfinder, unfortunately. I want to. I really, really want to, but I've never gotten a chance to. Quick, everyone, spam him with alerts while he's gone. Too bad, I'm already back. I'm just that fast. My monkeys are always within arm's reach. Also, let's all take a minute for the most satisfying sound in the world. You're welcome. It's a Gunslinger AP? Really? Ooh, okay. Yo, cheers, Clockwork. Would I rather have Mythic or Starfinder 2nd Edition? I don't think Starfinder needs a 2nd Edition yet. Starfinder is its own little thing that's only been around for like 5 or so years, I think. Maybe 7 or 8. And it's still getting releases. I don't think it needs a new edition. Plus, it's so similar to Pathfinder 1st Edition that now that 2nd Edition Pathfinder is so different, they can really feel like 2 separate systems rather than the same system but in space. Let's see. I wish I could scroll up on this. This really hates me trying to scroll. There we go. What would I first class, what module would I recommend for a PF2 newbie? Either the beginner's box or the Abomination Vault. The Abomination Vaults are great because you can either use a whole city and actually like have some build up and character development, have a session 0 before getting into the vaults, or just say screw it, you agreed to help this elf lady explore a nearby lighthouse. Go and start the session right on the map. Nice and easy straight away, which is great for newbies who might not know how to roleplay yet. Thank you, Diva, for Outlaws of Alkenstar is a rootin' tootin' PF2 EAP, where you're like anti-hero outlaws, rob a bank or something. Alright. Interesting. It's a whole adventure path? It's not just like a scenario? Interesting. Alkenstar is a city-state where guns were invented. Oh, cool. Quinn with another donation. Oh my word, so generous today. Thank you. Last one. Who is far more terrifying? Conqueror worms or Algolthu? I say Algolthu because they enslaved and mutated a whole race. True. Algolthu are terrifying. What is a conqueror worm? Conqueror worm. It's a CR21. Oh my word. What is it? Deep malevolent creatures with terrifying magical power. They are highly intelligent, see societies as playthings, enacting far-reaching and tyrannical changes to reshape or break them as they please. Oh, this is from Night of the Great Death. Oh, spoilers. Interesting. Ooh. Oh, most Conqueror Worm's victims don't even realize they're subject to its machinations, but some who do end up serving the creature or worshipping it. Ooh. Yo, how do they work? A creature communicates telepathically with the Conqueror Worm. As a reaction, they infect the mind of the creature, allowing it to mentally contact the creature from afar. The creature... Holy cow. Oh, it can just force telepathy on you. Oh, that's terrifying. The end of the game. A conqueror might toy with a society for generations? Ooh, I don't know. Algolthu is very direct with their mind control. The Conqueror Worm is more my cup of tea, where they're like, yes, I can control the minds of hundreds of civilians, but I do it for fun. And that, to me, is so much more terrifying, and I love it. But I just wish there was a picture. I'm sad there's no picture of the Conqueror Worm. Let me see. Oh, is that it? Oh, is that the Conqueror Worm? Ooh! Ew! Oh, let me put this on screen. Oh, look at it! Look at it! Ew! That's so gross. What would you use as adventure hooks for evil PCs? Evil PCs are hard. You need to have a meeting with your group. First and foremost, you need to have a session 0 saying, hey guys, I know you're evil, but I will need you as players to go along with the story. And I know that sounds like horrible railroading and whatnot, but it's kind of required with evil, because evil characters will often go out of their way to help themselves over anyone else, and that's very hard to get a cohesive group to travel together. That being said, a plot hook... That is an ad. Go away, ad. I don't like you. That being said, one of my favorite plot hooks that you can use is larger big evil being enlists the help of evil PCs. I've done this before, and it worked out okay. It was a very powerful, like, level 20 lich that hired the PCs... Oh, not hired, but, like... Hey, it was like, hey, you all show signs of being, like, super evil. Wanna be evil for me, and in return get super cool power? And yeah, the draw of power is a really good motivation for evil characters. Especially if they can get that power only if they work together, is a good way to do it. Otherwise, evil PCs, really hard to do right. Whatever campaign you run, no matter what, bring a character that is willing to work with the party, even if begrudgingly. Yes, I have made this mistake before. It's not fun. It leads to the it's what my character would do problem, which I have been the asshole before, where I did what my character would do because I often put the story before the gameplay, and the rest of my table was miserable, and I feel horrible. That was like 5 years ago, and I still feel horrible about it today. Like, never make a character that will abandon the party. What I'm saying is never play the stereotypical rogue. Alternatively, have a good person be the big, and, like, they're pretending to be evil, or they're, like, manipulating the party through, like, threat of death. I'm starting an evil campaign Saturday. One of them did the unarmed automaton with I-beams. Wait, like the monk? With the flurry of blows I-beams? Please? Recently I had to switch PCs because I realized that the idea of doing what's right did not mesh with the chaos and self-motivation that 3.5 of the characters had. That's fair, yeah. Oftentimes, it hurts, but oftentimes the party will need to be no more than one step away on the alignment chart. That's, you know, the alignment chart is not here or there. It's not a defining factor. But if everyone on the party is chaotic neutral, your lawful good paladin probably won't fit in. And it sucks. I've hit that issue a little bit in my Wednesday campaigns where I'm playing a lawful neutral fighter who's like law above all. Even if I don't agree with it, law above all. And we've got some chaotic good and chaotic neutral characters. There's one specific chaotic neutral rogue who I've been butting heads with this entire time, and it's rough, you know? There's just times they really don't get along, and it has almost led to us killing each other before. It's not the players, thankfully, but the characters have gotten into combat, almost into combat multiple times, and it's rough. Another good idea is bigger, badder evil that threatens what the evil PCs hold dear. That is true, but what is also difficult is threatening something that all of the PCs hold dear. If all the PCs are going for the same evil goal, it's easier. If they all have their own separate evil goal, it's harder. I will say, a way to get into an evil character, an evil PC, here's your free plot hook. Usually, and this is almost specifically for Known At Once patrons of $20 tiers or higher, where they get a free adventure hook once per week on Saturdays. If you're curious, there's a link in the description to the Known At Once Patreon. Here's a free adventure hook for you. don't try to make a bunch of evil PCs with free reign over their backstory. This sounds bad, bear with me. Because if you do that, they're all going to have aspirations of lichdom and ascending to demonic power and things like that. Rather, let them all start as part of the same organization. Let them be bandits. Let them be a 4 or 5 man roaming bandit. Hell, give them some extra bandit NPCs so there's like 15 of them and they're a band. So that way they already have a reason to work together. It might not be like as evil as some campaigns could be, but it's a good starting point from which you can build upon. Remember, level 1 is not typically going to be demons and liches and horrible evil magics. It's going to be bandits and wolves and rats and kobolds and orcs. Another donation by Andrew G. Thank you. I played a lawful evil magus that was the bodyguard of a lawful good bard. Lawful evil is the best. Just make your personal laws work with the party. Yes, lawful evil is the most likely to work in a normal campaign. I did have a he might have been neutral, but I'm pretty sure he was lawful evil in a good campaign because the premise of the campaign was survival. The party was all locked away in prison in session 0. Whether it was their fault or not, they all found themselves in prison. The prison was burned to the ground, and they all escaped through a hole in the floor, which led them to a complete underground continent that they needed to explore and escape. And even, the lawful evil character was not lawful stupid. He was like, yeah, I don't necessarily agree with your ideals, but if we want to survive, and I want to survive, we need to work together. And it worked out beautifully. Chisk, if you're out there, cheers. Would you ever want Zon-Kuthon to get the Nocticula treatment, in that he returns to godhood? Is Zon-Kuthon not a god right now? Because he's one of the deities in 2E. Is he not technically a god right now? A divine argument between him and Shaylin resulted in the god departing. He returned. No, Zon-Kuthon is still a god. Yeah, he's still a god. What do you mean? Yeah, Zon-Kuthon is still terrifying. Zon-Kuthon was, no, he wasn't. Oh, who's the deity? Who's the evil deity of secrets? Who is the deity of secrets? Someone's gonna say it in chat before I find it, but that's too bad. Norgorber! Norgorber was the big bad of one of my campaigns. It was actually that same underground campaign. Norgorber was the final boss. Kind of. They ended at like level 11-ish, so the final boss was like a level 13 avatar of Norgorber. Yeah, there it is. It's all in chat. I thought he was a demon prince. Would I ever want him redeemed? I don't know enough about Zon-Kuthon to know if he would redeem or not. It looks like he went out into the freaking depths of space, stared into the abyss, and the abyss stared back. So I don't think redemption is anywhere on his timeline. Here's a potential hot take. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to think about in chat. Evil for evil's sake is not bad for storytelling. Evil for evil's sake is bad for real life, but when it comes to telling a story where you just want a bad guy who is doing evil things because he wants power, and that's evil, there's nothing wrong with that. Giving the party someone to hate and good reason to hate them is fantastic for motivation. True. Thank you, Mabs. If you like Norgorberites as enemies, Agents of Edgewatch. Oh, Norgorber is a big thing in Agents of Edgewatch. Interesting. I'd say more about which deities are... Actually, no, it was just... my players just discovered that Lamashtu has been messing with them in our Friday campaigns. Yo, alright, I'm gonna give you the biggest piece of advice for Pathfinder GMs. If you ever want a totally unique encounter, take 2 animals or beasts, pick which parts you like of each, put them together, and blame Lamashtu. My players just fought turtle sharks. great white sharks with turtle shells on their backs, which increased their AC but lowered their move speed. They also fought a Megalictus, a giant weasel, whose skin became hard as stone. Like, just take creatures and shove them together, because that is what Lamash 2 does. And it's so fun to GM. The look on the players' faces when you say, a shark jumps out of the water, but as it crests over your boat, you notice something. It has a turtle shell. Like, their faces are... Wait, what? What are you... what? It's so fun! Lances are one-handed if you're mounted. Really? Okay, then never mind. Gaia away. You might need double slice, though. I just realized... Wait. This bugs me. And now I'm gonna make it bug all of you as well. Hi, Bernardo, what's up? Double slice can be used with piercing weapons. That shouldn't bug me as much as it does, but it does. That double slice can be used with piercing weapons. So here's an interesting one. My girlfriend has a theory about Iomedae because during the Crusade, Iomedae took in all the souls of the World Wound. Is it possible this could corrupt her? I don't know if we'll see that in PF2. Is that also canon, or is that... Well, actually, yeah, Wrath of the Righteous was a thing. So here's my thing with that, Quinn. If it was going to corrupt her, I think it would have already. I think we would have seen that in the birth of 2E, because 2E is a time jump from 1E, and Wrath of the Righteous happened in 1st edition, so if it hasn't corrupted her yet, I don't think it will, unfortunately. It would be cool, though. What was my first character death? The first one I can remember. Oh, Kalungo! Do I still have Kalungo? Do I have him? Kalungo, where are you? So, story... Yes! Wait, is this him? Is this him? Did I find his character sheet? Did I find his character sheet? So, my first character death. This is when we moved into 5th edition. It's so bad! Allow me to share a window with you all right now. Kalungo. So we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. Behold, Kalungo, my ranger. Do you see his stats? Do you see Kalungo's stats? We played 4d6, dropped the lowest, and I rolled these. And you know what? I said, yeah, let's play that. My GM was like, are you sure you don't want to reroll? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Jeez. It's a 5e ranger, so not much difference. Kalungo got critically hit by a wolf at level 2. Kalungo took 30 damage. Kalungo had 14 hit points. Kalungo went boom. It was amazing. And he said he didn't play any meme. Well, I did not play Kalungo as a meme. I played him as a full-on character, but man, he struggled. I suppose you can slash with spears. That's true. Oh, a stiff breeze could... I miss you, Kalungo. Pour one out for the boy. In my mouth. Oh my god. Well, so Henshin, it's not like my GM was like, oh, you gotta stick with that. You rolled it, it's your... No, he was like, are you sure you want to use those stats? I was the moron who said, yeah, this'll be fun, guys. was just a monkey, man. What does Kolungo look like? So he was, what was the actual race called? Hadozi. The campaign, we always called it the furry campaign, because all of us played as animals that were given sentient thought and life through the Fae. So he was a monkey. He was a gorilla. He was a gorilla ranger who specialized in throwing javelins. And he was gonna take, back in 3.5, it was 3.5 at first, and then it got converted to a 5th edition campaign. Back in 3.5, he was going to become the Eldritch Archer of 3.5 and throw, like, magical javelins, which was going to be super cool. And my big brain strat, because I think, hold on, let me double check. 3.5, I think it was an Eldritch Archer, right? The Eldritch Archer, because we were also using a lot of homebrew, like a ton of homebrew. But, ranged spell combat, must use a ranged weapon for combat, ranged spell strike. Oh no, even in 3.5, it didn't have to be a ranged attack. Okay, so it wouldn't have worked anyway. My original plan was to use magic missile javelins that just can't miss. But that actually wouldn't have worked, rules as written. Just asking, because Kolungo sounds like Quasimodo in a way. That's fair. GIF of his, the wolf making it go boom. Dude, oh my god, maybe I might have to put Kolungo in the codex. I might have to see if I can put Kolungo in the codex. I would die. And he's just like a horribly understated NPC, like a level 0. Is there a fun throwing build on Fighter in PF2? There is a throwing build, and it's Ricochet Stance. That's all you get. I'm pretty sure fighters only get Ricochet Stance, and that's it when it comes to throwing weapons. If you want a thrown weapon fighter, there's like 1 or 2 more feats for it, but they're not great. Like, just play any other fighter and put returning on a weapon. Ricochet Stance is just the returning rune. Or I think it lets you hit 2 targets, but it's not great. Do you think running the beginner box with your own characters into troubles in Atari and Abomination Vaults is a good idea for players who aren't exactly new? Also, how long is the beginner's box? The beginner's box is only like, if you know what you're doing as a GM, 2 hours. If everyone's new, maybe 3 or 4, depending on pauses and whatnot. Do I think running it into Atari and Abomination Vaults is a good idea for veteran players? I would, if they're veteran players to PF2, skip the beginner's box. If they're veterans of other systems, play the beginner's box. I played the beginner's box with people after a year of experience. 3 out of the 4 of us playing the beginner's box had over a year of experience with PF2, and we still had a blast. It's a fun little adventure. It's just a tiny little, for those of you who don't know, the beginner's box has a tiny little dungeon crawl in it. It's like 2 hours of combat and exploration in a pretty linear dungeon, though there's still some branching paths, which is super cool, and multiple different outcomes of situations, which I love. If you want to, go for it. The big thing with the beginner's box is it is a good way to get your players to level 2. I don't know if Troubles in Otari starts at level 2, but beginner's box gets you there. I like it. I had fun with it. I'd play it again. Hot take. Frollo is the creepiest Disney bad guy. Absolutely. With the best song. Absolutely. Hellfire's a freaking banger, and I'm only slightly biased because I'm a baritone. I'm not a tenor, and yes, I'm sick of all the pretty boy tenors taking all the solos. Give us another baritone, Disney! And Moana doesn't count. I didn't like Moana. Hello again, Bernardo. Welcome to PC Land. The path is very fun if you're new to PF2. Absolutely. Has the Make-A-Wish Foundation to let it be an adventure. That's so sad. How much to sing it? $2. $2 and I'll sing a little bit of Hellfire. Baritone bro here too. Baritones unite, dude. If you haven't heard it, look up Straight No Chaser. All about that bass. I love that song. It gives me validation as a person. Rules question. How do you handle recall knowledge DCs? As PCs level up, do they just start succeeding on all the more mundane ones? Yes, I will say DCs should be static, but don't be the more specific it gets, the harder it should be. But also, for the sake of story, If they're level 2, and this is the first time they're trying to think about who Lamashtu is as a deity, maybe DC 16, 17. But also, don't be afraid to up the DC. So, I'll probably make a video about this, but when I GM... Also, I got you, Walrus. I got you. When I GM, when I'm calling for recall knowledge checks, I change the rules a little bit. I don't know how bad... I've never actually thought about this, but just how I GM. I use what is known as a success range. It is not just success and crit success for me. Say someone's thinking... Say someone sees the icon that represents Lamashtu, the deity, the mother of monsters, just her symbol. That's probably a DC 15 to identify Lamashtu. Now, let's say they roll an 18. I might say, you know that is Lamashtu, also called the Mother of Monsters. Let's say they roll a 22. You know that is Lamashtu, also called the Mother of Monsters because of the way she twists mortal beings into monstrous creations. Say you roll a 25. I might give a story told about Lamashtu. Whether it's a rumor or not, they don't know. But the higher they roll, the more information I get. I don't just leave it at pass or fail. It is 100% dependent on how high they roll. Also, 1 second, Walrus. I don't... let me pause this. What are the lyrics? I have not listened to Hellfire in so long. Also, I'm tipsy, so this is going to be terrible. Let me get... Oh, this is going to get this video demonetized so fast. Hellfire karaoke. Alright. Nice ad, nice ad. Oh, there's such a long intro. Hold on. Hopefully it skips the intro. Nice ad, though. Nice ad, nice ad. Alright, alright, alright. Baritone Pride. Let me do what I can. Let me do what I can. I'm gonna skip this early part just so I don't get copyright struck. Because at least if I'm singing, it counts as fair use. Ah. Okay. Yeah. What is it? Is it gonna do the fill line? Oh god, it's not even doing. It's a karaoke video, but it's not doing the line fill. I don't know when the intro is. All right, screw the backing. Screw the backing. Let's go. Let's go. Beata Maria, you know I am a righteous man. Of my virtue I am justly proud. Beata Maria, you know I'm so much purer than the common, vulgar, weak, licentious crowd. Then tell me... Well, oh, what's that? What's the middle part? Also, my dog is going insane. Let's see, let's see. This is one actually... I'm a righteous man. Of my virtue I am justly proud. My dog is going insane. Beata Maria, you know I'm so much purer than the common, vulgar, weak, licentious crowd. Then tell me, Maria, why I see her dancing there, why her smoldering eyes still scorch my soul. I feel her, I see her, the sun caught in her raven hair is blazing in me out of all control. Like fire, hellfire, this fire in my skin, this burning desire is turning me to sin. There you go. There you go. All right, we got there. We got there. Copyright strike. So my hope is that it's fair use. If this gets me copyright struck, oh well. I don't get much ad revenue from streams. Also, I'm out of focus. Hello? Hello? There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Now use Inspire Courage. Y'all get +1 to your attack rolls and skill checks. All right, where were we? It's always been clear that I'm a theater kid. Hey! You're right. I did know you were a creator, but I didn't know you were actually a bard. I mean, I did go to school for theater. I dropped out my 3rd year, but I did go to college for theater. Of course my girlfriend was in for that one. Hi, baby. Oh, my word. Yo, thank you, Paul Herman. Just straight up dropping the super chat. No text. Just dropping the dono. Cheers. Why did I drop out? So it's actually kind of a sad story. But it set me on the path to where I am now. At the start of my junior year of college, one of the very few theater professors actually passed away. Her name was Sandra. And she was incredible. I never got to have her in a class, unfortunately, but I did have her as a director when I did Grease, the musical, which is actually where I met my girlfriend over 8.5 years ago. 7.5? 7.5. 8.5? COVID screwed up my timeline. So with her passing away, there was only 2 actual professors for on-stage classes, and the rest of them were entirely backstage. Set design, sound design, etc. And I just did not have any interest in backstage work. I'm not saying they're not important. In fact, I would argue that backstage is more important than on stage. Without backstage, there is no show. But unfortunately, my passion lied on stage, and of those 2 professors, one of them was a self-absorbed, awful person named... I won't put his name in here. We'll say his name was Ron Chakotowicz. And his classes, I put classes in heavy air quotes, were him talking about his experience in theater. It felt much more like him bragging about what he had done than trying to teach us anything. The other one was decent. We didn't get along too well, but she did know what she was talking about. I'm dying. Yeah, my girlfriend knows what I'm talking about. Good old Ron Chakotowicz. Let's see. Was your furry campaign using their feral size categories? No, I think we were all medium creatures. When I was in theater class, my teacher got attacked by a bat, like a bat. I did backstage work in high school. It was fun. Yeah, dude, I loved my stage crew. Most of them. Some of them were a little off, but yeah, no, I loved my stage crew back in high school and in college. Honestly, Michelle, if you're out there, cheers. Michelle was. Ended up being like the head of the stage crew during my years in college. And we took dance class together, and she was my dance partner, and it was rough because I was not a strong human being. I am still not a strong human being. So a lot of the dance moves were very difficult for me. An egomaniacal has-been in the theater? No! The bat had some opinions. Yes, like an EE bat. The most organized person I've ever met was a stage manager. You will never, ever find anyone as organized as a stage manager. I don't care if they're an English teacher. I don't care if they're an English professor. They will not be as organized as a stage manager. You want to know why? An English teacher only needs to know how one thing is organized and teach people how to organize it that way. Meanwhile, a stage manager needs to learn how every single part in the play is organized and keep them organized and babysit the actors because we're all children. Stage managers are the true heroes of the theater. Question, do you have eyes for any RPGs outside of Path? Oh, yeah. Oh, so many. Call of Cthulhu, Delta Green. My friend wants to run 7th Sea. I love Shadowrun. I want to try the Warhammer RPG. There's one I just found that just got funded on... it wasn't Kickstarter, but it was a similar one. What was it called? It's apparently big in Japan, and it just got translated. Picaresque Roman. Picaresque Roman is a Japanese mob RPG that just got translated to English for its 5th edition, and I want to try that so bad. So yes, too many RPGs, and I only get to play 5e and 2e, and I'm so sad. Hot take, 2e needs an investigation stat. I do think 2e has made perception too good. On the other side, at least perception's not something you can spec into. You can't dump skill points into perception. It's all about your class. But I do agree that a rogue and a ranger being able to sense motive better than someone like a cleric is kind of weird to me. Me and my friends are just starting 2E, and there's only 3 of us, including the GM. We are relatively new to all TTRPGs. This is our first one, so we've never played or anything. Advice? Have fun. That is the biggest piece of advice I can give you. Don't stress about rules. If you're confident enough, make it up on the spot. Ignore the dog squealing in the background. I promise she is fine. Ka, you're okay. You're okay. You're fine. But have fun. That is the most important thing. Of all the rules I cover in my videos, of all the drama you see people yelling about online, of how angry my dog is that there's a dog outside and she's not outside, just have fun with it. That's what it all comes down to. It's a game, you know? And it's harder than it sounds to just have fun. Because I forget that from time to time. There are tons of moments in my campaigns where it's almost like I'm choosing not to have fun. Not necessarily a conscious choice, but there are times I get mad, I get upset, I'm like, wow, my GM's really doing that? Okay, cool, I don't care anymore. And in retrospect, I'm 100% in the wrong. But it's hard. It's hard to have fun. And I don't know why. Yo, see you later, Paul. Thank you so much for the generous donations. Have a great night. But it's difficult. It is harder than it sounds to have fun, because it often means putting the rules to the side, even though the rules are what make it a game, if that makes sense. Kind of want to make a thaumaturge with a chalice with folklorist archetype that makes tails and takes a swig and raises a glass in combat. I don't remember much about the thaumaturge. I haven't seen it since the playtest came out, but that sounds cool. All I know is they take advantage of weaknesses and can create weaknesses. What do you want to see from other PF2 creators on YouTube, Twitch, etc.? That's a tough one. So I see that leads to one of my most based fears when it comes to content creation. There is a limit of what you can do with tabletop RPGs. But at the same time, there's no limit. But there's a limitation. There's no limit to what you can do, but there is a limitation to what you can talk about and create. Sometime in the next few years, someone, I don't think it's going to be me, unfortunately, someone will figure out the evolution of TTRPG YouTube. Will it ever be as big as gaming or makeup or anything like that? No, there's no chance in hell. But someone will figure something out. They'll shoot to 1 million subscribers in a month somehow, but I have no idea how it's going to happen. Right now, when it comes to tabletop content on YouTube, there's guides, there's opinion pieces, and there's live plays. And there's animated stories, like Dingo Doodles. But aside from those 4, there's not much else. And I know there's more out there, but it's going to take a special creative mind to simultaneously do it and make it work on YouTube or Twitch or whatever, which is the hardest part. I guarantee there is someone out there who has already discovered a new format of TTRPG content, but because they had no following, it didn't get off the ground. It's got 6 views somewhere. It's an amazingly edited video that's got a cool story attached to it, some cool editing, and a new format none of us can even think of. But because of the way YouTube works, nobody has seen it. Yeah. What would you call a lizard folk Anati? A spizzard. Oh, okay, yeah, Divas beat me, yeah. Diva said it first. It's Blizzard. I want more lore discussion, and that's true. That's another thing as well that I'm probably never going to do. Because I just don't study the lore enough myself. I know if I made a lore video, I would get 50 things wrong, as opposed to my normal 10 things wrong. But I also don't find it as passionate. You know, I love the rules. I love combat. I love feats and stuff like that, which is why I talk about them. The lore is cool, but I prefer to make my own lore in existing worlds. I know I saw something else. Come on, scroll up, please. Scroll up, please. Thank you. What do you think about Pathfinder not having a surprise round? I hate surprise rounds. I hate surprise rounds. They trivialize combat. If one side... Think of it this way. If one side gets a surprise round, they get twice as many actions in the first round of combat. Last Wednesday... Cut, you are okay. Last Wednesday, we had a surprise round against an enemy in 5e. You know what we did? We tripped him, we grappled him, and beat the crap out of him, and he did not get a turn. We just won. And it was fun to beat the crap out of someone, but in retrospect, it wasn't even an encounter. It was 45 minutes of positioning, taking actions, and just saying we bum rush him, but acting out every action. Even worse, getting surprised as a player sucks. Especially if you have garbage initiative. I remember I played in a Pathfinder 2e one-shot like 2 years ago. I don't even remember who it was with. That was a long time ago. It's on YouTube somewhere, or Spotify or something. But I rolled like a 2 on my initiative. And there was a surprise round. And there was 5 or 6 players and like 5 monsters. So my turn, I got to go 22nd in initiative. Because there was 11 creatures, sorry, I guess 21st. Because there are 11 creatures, it was a surprise round, and I go last. I got to sit there for 45 minutes doing nothing. I did not get to play the game. And it sucked. Exactly. Surprise should be roleplay. You should be flat-footed. That's why I like the rogue feature in 3.5 and stuff. I think in 2e as well, where if you go, anybody who has not acted yet is flat-footed. I love that. That's great. Free sneak attack early on? Beautiful. But don't give them a full round. It's just boring. I'll be right back. Also, there's no music. I will play the music wherever it went. And I have to pee. Bathroom break? Bathroom break. Huh? You are a dog. Would you like a toy? Or something to chew on? How about a peanut-flavored chew? My chat is waiting for me, Tom. They can all hear us. Hope if I offer this peanut-flavored chewy snack, will be calm. Do you want the peanut-flavored chewy snack? don't you want the peanut-flavored chewy snack? Is that a healthy snack, Rebecca? Y'all, that is loud. Oh my god, why is that so loud? Oh, because this got turned. She won't take the peanut-flavored chewy snack. God, take the peanut-flavored, thank you. Okay, we're good. She just wanted to happen on camera. I see. Did someone mention Honey Heist? Yeah, I want to play Honey Heist at some point. Honey Heist is cool. I want to play peanut-flavored chewy snack. Have you ever read Deep Rot? I've never seen that, no. Ooh. While we're on the subject of TTRPGs that I want to play, hold on. Do I have it up here? Where are you? Is it not up here? There it is. Y'all, I have owned this rulebook. What is Nonat drinking? Nonat is drinking Sour Monkey. Not sponsored, but gladly would be. This is my go-to drink if I want to forget today happened. Also good for streams where I slowly slip into a drunken stupor. Because it's 10%, baby. What do you think about such random things as Deck of Many Things and its analogs? I've never used Deck of Many Things. I think it's fun, but it's dangerous, because it can derail a campaign. Now, as a GM, of course, you can fudge things. You can change the rulings. Maybe make it a slightly weaker Deck of Many Things. But overall, I'm not a big fan of artifacts that can render everything my players have done useless. Anyway, who here has heard of Pugmire? I have wanted to play this for 5 years, and I have never played it. It is an RPG where all of the players are different, like your breed is your race. And your class are all like almost the art is amazing. Look at this art, dude. Like look at this. And I've never gotten to play it. Being a good dog is literally the religion. Like, not even joking. The art is incredible. And like, okay, so we'll go through this. So your calling is your class. Your class options are artisans or your wizards. You've got guardians, which are like your champion paladins. The hunter, which I believe is like your ranger. You've got the ratters, which are like your rogues, your swashbucklers. Freaking Papillion is the BBEG, a vacuum cleaner or a cat. I think it might be a rat. I can't remember. Shepherds are your clerics. The monarchies of Meow. I think that's actually a thing. And the strays are your fighters. It's absolutely incredible. And then there's your breeds. Yes. So I love what they've done. So like this is an ancestry, a race, the companion. Like Chihuahuas, Papillions, Pugs are all companions. Then you can be a fettle or a herder. Like, it's amazing. It gives you, like, what example your dog breed would fall into if you want to make a specific dog. There's pointers, runners, mutts, work. Look at the husky boy! Look at the strong husky boy! Oh, my word. I've wanted to play this for years, and I've never gotten a chance. First time DM. I host a stable of 5 level 5 PCs. Ooh, your first time GMing, you're going for 5 players and they're all level 5? Patrick, is this in 2E or 5E? or some other system. They're searching for a dwarf in the swamps, and I would love to use a crocodile or a giant crocodile. So if they are level 5, you would want roughly... So it depends on what threat you want the encounter to be, Patrick. Excuse me. I don't want an ad. Hold on. I need to skip this. There we go. So if you want this crocodile to be a threat, there's only 2 crocodiles in the 2E core rulebook. There's a level 2 and a level 9. The level 9 is a huge Dinosuchus. I would not use the level 9 because they're level 5 and it will destroy them. But what you can do is apply the weak template. This makes it roughly like a level 7.5 creature, which would make for a great super threatening encounter. But even that might be a little harder, so you could apply the weak template and then reduce things further. But for 5 players, a moderate encounter is 4 players versus 1 creature of the same level. That is moderate. Severe is 2 creatures of the same level. So a party of 4 level 4s fighting 2 level 4 enemies would be a difficult encounter, which can be trivialized, of course. But your best bet with 5 players is to never use less than 2 or 3 creatures in the fight. As such, I would use multiple level 5 crocodiles instead of 1 level 7 crocodile. What were we talking about? My friend played a 5e campaign, and they were all animals. Nice. Love it. Best thing about 5e is how easy it is to homebrew. Just saw the following post. I'm inspired to make an urban fantasy adventure set in Absalom of a group of beastkin that solve random problems and call it the Claw Patrol. That's a podcast waiting to happen. Someone better do that before it's swiped out, because that's going to disappear in months. Do you think there's any rules or mechanics you think 5e can take from 2e for the betterment of 5e? Well, Doctor, I'm actually going to abstain from answering that, because if you go to the Roll for Combat YouTube page, you will see that I'm going to be on their stream tomorrow talking about exactly that. What 5e and 2e can learn from each other. So go ahead and give a sub to Roll for Combat while you're there. And join us tomorrow at like 2 p.m. It's going to be great. Do you think a caster-style class that starts at Expert for spell attack rolls could work out? No. I think that would be incredibly busted if they have access to a full spell list. The only way I could see that being balanced would be a nightmare to design. But it would have to be a spellcaster that A, does not get cantrips, and B, cannot cast higher saving throw spells. Now, Expert in Signature Spell could be interesting for things like sorcerers and bards and oracles. That could be fascinating. And don't get me wrong, Candyman, I would love to see someone who starts Expert in Spellcasting. The problem is just how spellcasting is designed in the system, and we will never see it. How many other channels or podcasts have I appeared in? A lot. Freaking... I'm tipsy. It's hard to say. Roll for Combat, I've been on their stream twice. Who have I been on? What was their name? Their name was... Four Corners Games I've been on. It's unfortunately not available anymore, but I was with the... Oh, my brain! I would know it if I saw it. I'm just too tipsy to think about it. Oh, now you got me forgetting, and I'm upset with myself. I've done a Jasper's Game Day twice. Jasper's Game Day is a fantastic thing. If you haven't checked it out, if you've ever been curious about seeing me GM, if you look up Jasper's Game Day, you can find the game I GM'd on their channel, pretty recently uploaded. It's got Aaron, which is Paizo's marketing manager, as well as a bunch of other cool people. It was a blast. Hold on, I need to find... So it's the Min-Maxed. That's what it was. The Min-Maxed podcast Yeah, we did a recorded live play. We did 3 episodes back when I had like 3,000 subscribers. And unfortunately, the series flopped, so we stopped it after 3 episodes. I've always thought about doing another live play now that we have more subscribers, but I still think they would underperform. Because the rules videos and the opinion pieces just always seem to get more views. And I'm still not quite at the point of my career where I can just make stuff for fun. You know, I'm still trying to scrape together rent. I'm still trying to scrape together funds for advertising the Kickstarter, as well as, you know, treating my girlfriend right, going out to dinner and stuff. I'm not living in poverty, you know? I've got a decent apartment. I can afford rent and stuff, but I have nothing in my savings, you know? I'm not quite paycheck to paycheck, but I don't know how I'm going to afford taxes this year. Let's put it that way. Let's see. Question, are you excited for the new Avatar: The Last Airbender RPG? I would love to try it out. I've never finished the show. I've only seen episodes here and there, but I'm excited that it's a real thing. That's super cool. Have people played Alchemist in your games? No, I've never GM'd for an Alchemist, unfortunately. None of my friends have played one. I've always wanted to, though. You just confused me. I literally just tested and figured out yesterday that it's the combined level of the party compared to the combined level of the enemies. I'm pretty sure that's wrong. I could have been wrong. It's been a long time since I made the video about XP budgets. The XP budget is, yeah, if one enemy is equal to the average party level, it is a moderate encounter. Yeah. Diva, you'll play an Alchemist? We'll talk. I have been considering a one-shot with my mods. That has been on my brain, not gonna lie. No Direction are talking through Chapter 1 of Book of the Dead this month. Oh, how funny! I'm talking through Chapter 2. It's like Paizo gave different media outlets different chapters to cover. Seriously though, this Wednesday, I'm gonna be making a video about Book of the Dead, and I got the chapter on player options, so get freaking hyped! I'm blurry. Hello? 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 I would like to be in focus, please! I would like to be in focus, please! Perfect. Palm readers, eat your heart out. There we go! And thank you, Quinn, just throwing another buck my way. What's that one for? Archives of Nethys shows that at level is 40 XP and mod is 80. This is showing moderate is 30. Wait. This is showing, wait, XP awards, that's accomplishments. Maybe you're right, maybe moderate is 80. Why is this not? It's hazards. Hold on. XP budget, 2E. No, you are right. Sorry. Yes, you are absolutely correct. Sorry. For a party of 4, 2 enemies of the same level is moderate. 3 is severe, and 4 enemies of the same level is extreme. Thank you. Thank you for the correction. I was wrong. I have a video that explains it right that I made years ago. Back when, oh my god. Do you guys remember my old thumbnails, how bad they are? I've never changed them because I don't want to. But oh my god, do you remember how bad my thumbnails used to be? Have a good night, Draken. Oh my word. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Encounter. Please write the name of the GM session in chat. Which GM session? Oh my god. Oh god. Let me download this. Look how bad. Look how bad my thumbnail used to be. Here, I'll just save image. And then I'll just throw it in here. Image. Look at that. Look how bad that thumbnail is. Like, again, most people are reading it like that size. You can't read that. You get to see Pathfinder 2E and a wolf. Like, that's nothing. Like, sure, when it's super big, you can read this, but nobody sees them that big. Oh my word. Like, people like to talk about, like, the clickbait thumbnails I do now, and I won't deny it. Like, I'm absolutely a clickbait thumbnail now. But tell me right now, what would you click on? That? Or, let me see. Like, which would you click on? They're the same size. One of these is much better than the other. Like, you can't even tell what that says. This is at least, like, super straightforward. Oh, my word. Sorry, thank you so much, Quinn! You're so freaking generous today! Oh my god, thank you! Do you think we badly need a new book for Chansha, or would you rather see books on regions that get less attention? So, I was thinking about this earlier when someone asked earlier, it might have been you, who asked if there was a Lost Omens book I wanted. I would say Tiansha should get a Lost Omen book, except we got the Ruby Phoenix Adventure Path, which doesn't tell us everything about Tiansha, but it takes place there. For that reason, and the same reason I don't think we're going to get a Lost Omens Realm of the Mammoth Lord book, I think because there is an adventure that 1 to 20 takes place in that region, we're not going to get a Lost Omens book anytime soon. I think we will get... My fingers are so crossed for Kadira, y'all. We haven't gotten an adventure path in Kadira. We haven't gotten a Lost Omens book in Kadira. Like, come on. But I think if we get an adventure path there, they will not prioritize a Lost Omens line there, unfortunately. Thank you so much, Tommy, for a $20 super chat. Love your works. Can't wait to see what comes next. What are your thoughts on Druma? What is Druma? The Calistocracy of Druma? Oh, that's a country, isn't it? Or like a... I've used them. Are they in Kala? I've definitely looked into Druma before. I think in my Kadira campaign. Keonan! No, Eyes Keonan, no. I don't know much about Druma. Southern Coast. That's what it is! That's where... Okay, so... I know next to nothing about Druma. What I do know is that's where I started my campaign a few months ago, that unfortunately is on hold, and did not really use the city that much. So sadly, I don't know enough about Druma, but I am a big fan of mercantile cities. One of my campaigns is heading to Opara right now, which is just such a huge trade city. I'm super excited. I just love cities that are focused around trade, because you can do so many stories. People who need you to deliver things, people stealing things, getting mugged for things. Just money as a motivator is so good for the early to mid levels of an RPG. Druma, I underutilized heavily. But I like it. Oh, I dripped. Oh, I drank wrong. I have a drinking problem. Yeah, no, Warlocks. That's what we said earlier. You were right. So it's not combined level. Sorry, you weren't right. Someone else was. 4 level 2 characters against 2 level 2 enemies is a balanced encounter. So you can almost think of it as 1 enemy is worth 2 player characters for a moderate encounter. Yo, Sam also dropping $20. Oh my god, guys, thank you. We need new bee enemies. Yes, I hate bees. Let me squash them. I would never actually squash a bee in real life. I'm pretty sure I have a phobia. Like, when it comes to bees in real life, I either freeze or I sprint. Fun fact, before I did YouTube, I used to deliver pizza full-time. I once delivered pizza to a guy who opened his door so infrequently that there was a beehive right outside of it. So, like, I had to deliver this guy's pizza to his door with a beehive over my head. I didn't get stung, thank God. But, like, I have such a fight or flight reaction when I hear when I hear that, even if it's a normal fly or mosquito or something. I flinch, I freak out, I go insane. And it's all just automatic. I don't think about it. It's terrifying. But when it comes to TTRPG enemies, yes, give me giant bees. I always think of the bee sprite from Final Fantasy 1 and 2, which I love. I don't love 2, but 1, and I remember some of the sprite work from Final Fantasy 2, which has some great bee sprites. I have a wasp phobia too. Swallowed one as a child? No! Oh god, my brain. The worst I've done, besides... So the reason I have a bee wasp phobia is because I've never been stung. Make sense of that. Because I've never actually been stung by a bee, it's been built up in my head. Like, I don't know if I have an allergic reaction. I don't know how bad it actually hurts. But because it's been 27 years and I've never been stung, I'm terrified. Could you explain further? Show me a video you've done or something that explains it because I still don't get it. Yeah, Warlocks. Look up No Nat 1's Encounters on YouTube. That should work. If you look up No Nat 1's Encounters... yeah, it's the second thing that pops up. It's got a picture of a wolf on it. Check that video out. That'll help you out. Hi, Nonat. 2 days ago, I GM'd a session of my homebrew campaign, and I almost TPK'd. Do you have any tips for monsters I can serve as a boss for 3 level 3 players? Yes. If you are looking for a boss, look 2 to 3 levels higher than your players. Now, at the end of the day, a boss fight will be more difficult if there are more creatures. I have tried, and here's a story for you. I pit my level 7 characters against a level 10 boss. Like, this thing should have been so difficult. But I rolled a nat 1, and then they continued to attack its weakest stat, which was its reflex save. And they took like 1 hit of damage before killing this thing. Action economy in Pathfinder 2e is king. If your group is level 7, instead of putting them against a level 10, consider putting them against a level 9 and 2 level 6s. That will be much more interesting, much more difficult, and much more fun. If you have a 4-man party, even if the target is 3 levels higher, that target only gets 3 actions, while the party gets 12. Keep that in mind. Thank you for the $1 super chat, Paul Money. Thank you. And Richard S. with the $10. Very generous. Just getting ready for my first Pathfinder campaign soon, and your videos were the first ones that came up. Small world. That ain't Richard, is it? Yo. That ain't the Richard S. from, like, high school. I thought about it, but the text in your message has me thinking. Richard, is that you, my man? Talk to me. Our GM always homebrews bosses with like 15... Oh, for level 16, 20. Damage scaling. This is the Richard! Oh my god! Dude, let's go! I remember talking to you like once 3 years ago when you found me on caffeine. Oh my god. We keep running into each other, dude. Cheers, man. Hope you're doing well. God damn. Meant to type a message? I got you, Paul. Paul Money, I see you. I'm keeping my eyes out for you. If you type your message into chat, I'll respond. 1500 HP in D&D is insane. I put my players against a level 13 enemy while they were level 10. They almost died when the fight would be easier. So that is the inherent problem and the impossibility of a balanced encounter. I will bring this... OMG, the Richard? I will bring this example up until the day I die. If you have 4 level 10 fighters, they will lose against 4 level 8 spellcasters if they're on 100-foot high pillars. It doesn't matter if that's a trivial encounter. Because of the situation, it changes the balance. So you need to keep that in mind. And yeah, sometimes if there are choke points, if there's obvious things your players can use and they're not using it, it's kind of on them. But just because the XP budget says it's balanced, doesn't mean it's balanced. So keep your players' abilities and the monster abilities in mind. It will change everything. With the one-shots with mods, would there be a chance for the two of us who solved the ARG to get potential slots in the said one-shot? I'll think about it. I don't want to promise anything, because that's not fair if I promise things and that doesn't happen. Which 1E adventure path do you want modified playable in 2E? I started modifying it like a year ago. Crystal Spire. I want to play through Crystal Spire so bad. Crystal Spire is the coolest freaking 1-20 dungeon crawl, and it would work so well in 2E. Oh my god. Got your beer? Let's go, General Knight. Yeah, these are good headphones. I got them for a super deal. I think they were usually like 70. I got them for like 25. Doing a playthrough of Strength of Thousands with an Elf Rogue, an Ancient Elf, and Summoner. Dude, Ancient Elf is such a BS heritage. I've come this close. Like, none of my players have ever used it, thankfully. I've come this close to banning Ancient Elf. Because getting a free archetype dedication is so dumb. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm glad you're having fun with that. It's awesome that you have a dragon Eidolon right at level 1. But holy cow, getting to start with an archetype is ridiculously overpowered. Most hazards are stupidly easy. A dungeon of 100 rooms with one hazard and each can get a party from 1 to 20. That's fair. That's why I don't use the experience system. I use Milestone. Question. Do you think talismans are worth it? I think if you have the archetype where you can make them every day, yes. If you're giving them out as treasure, they're gonna be like ethers in Pokemon. No one's gonna use them because what if we need them for the final boss? I'm not a fan of consumable items. Typically, if I give my party a treasure, it'll either be an upgrade to their current equipment or an item with charges per day. Charges per day are great because they need to use them that day or they won't be helpful. Talismans, on the other hand, are use them and they're gone, so you never want to use them. You know what I mean? Neck deep in designing a homebrew that starts with the beginner Atari mod and evolves into a quest to stop Urgathoa from releasing a plague. Ooh, love that. That sounds so cool. Why do Pathfinder kobolds have such weird fish heads? I don't know, but I like it. I know this isn't Pathfinder related, but I just beat Renala and respected to a strength faith build. Nice, dude. I just started my new game plus, and I'm going full faith. I've got like 48 faith, and I'm dual wielding coded swords. It's awesome. What kind of beer? We got that Sour Monkey Sour Trapel, dude. This thing tastes like freaking candy, and it's 10%. It just messes you up. Did I ever play through Strange Aeons in 1E? Can't say that I have. I have never played through a 1E adventure path. I've said it before, but I'll say it again for those who don't know. I've only played like 5 sessions of first edition in my life, and those were about 7 years ago with my girlfriend's friends. So I don't know 1E that well. Unless, I guess you can count Kingmaker, because I never beat Kingmaker, but that's because the final dungeon of Kingmaker is the opposite of fun. I said, screw it. What is an Ancestry class combination you think is just weird? Off the top of my head, Gnome Champion. Off the top of my head again, Goblin Investigator. One more? Elf Barbarian. I dare one of you watching right now to play an Elf Barbarian in your next campaign. I do wish talismans cost like 10 times more money, but were once per day. That'd be better. I use talismans and give one of my players Dragon Breath elixirs as treasure because he loves them. Know your players! Best piece of advice all night. Know your players. Know what they want, know what they need, give it to them. But not like, I guess know what they want and give it to them, not know what they need. You don't necessarily need to give them what they need unless they need it. Makes sense of that one. Need to convert Strange Aeons and run it for you now? Just you, solo play? Let's go. What PF2 campaign do you love to watch? Sadly, I have not watched really any of them. I don't have time. I'm also... So the problem and the reason I don't watch more like live plays or listen is because I'm pretty sure I have adult ADHD. I've never had it diagnosed. I need to see a doctor to get that done. I cannot multitask. Like, playing Elden Ring or any video game, I have 2 monitors, but I can't have a video on that other monitor. If I'm playing a game, I have to focus on that game. If I'm watching a video, I have to focus on that video. Unless the game is completely mindless, like an open world survival crafting like Minecraft or Conan Exiles, I can't watch something while I play, and it sucks. So I really don't do podcasts. I'm trying to homebrew a chaotic neutral champion. I don't know how accurate it is anymore, Patrick Dubois, but if you look on my channel, if you look up, like, let me see. If you look up Known at One's champion causes, if you look up Known at One's champion causes, yeah, it's the second one that comes up. It's got guest star beard. Oh god, that's the worst thumbnail I've ever done in my life. This video, guys, seriously. This freaking video has 400 views. I'm not kidding. This stream that we're doing right now has 100 viewers. This video on my channel has 400 views. And it is entirely due to the garbage thumbnail. It's a cool video. Me and my friend about 2 years ago talked about neutral and evil champion causes before they came out. But like, look at this. Let me do this. Browse, downloads. Look how bad this thumbnail is. This was like one of my first 25 videos. Look how bad that thumbnail... You can't read that. That is not legible. You cannot read that thumbnail. It's the worst. After 2 years, it has 400 views. It is one of my least viewed videos of all time. Graphic design is important. Yes. Much improved. Yo, what's up, TK? Story time. Thank you, Volker VT, for the donation. I played an Orc Chief Orc Chef Alchemist. Very different. They were an unarmed boxer frontline who handed out snacks when needed. Wait. So, Volker, did you homebrew that, or did you use my, my Chef Alchemist homebrew from, like, 2 years ago? Oh, I'll tell you exactly how much I made off that video. Meowshi. I've actually made no money off that video. Because that video went up before I had 1,000 subs, I wasn't qualified for ad revenue. So monetization isn't even enabled on that video. Style text on tile and on title and dude, it's so bad. It's so bad. The lack of Wrath of the Righteous irritates me. I've already beaten the game as every mythic path by now. Wow, that's crazy. I've never even beaten it. I haven't been feeling the isometric RPGs lately, though I am playing through Wasteland 3 co-op with my friend. I think what I've learned about isometric RPGs like Divinity, Wrath of the Righteous, and Baldur's Gate, I like to do it co-op. Solo, it's fun, and Kingmaker is the one I got closest to beating, but they don't hold my attention. They're good, just not good enough to hold my ADHD brain. What's up, Raph? An elf barbarian is easy if you make them from the lands of the Linorm King, so it's entirely possible to have elf. That's true. If you have just these, like, bulky snow elves who have muscle and fat to keep them warm. Dude, I would love to see that as a heritage. Is snow elf a thing? I want to say it is, but it gives you, like, something weird. Like, I feel like there should be thicker elves with, like, 3 Cs. Because elf heritages... Is there a snow elf? Arctic elf, yeah. Dude, I feel like Arctic elf should change your negative to con into a negative to something else. I think Arctic Elf should switch Dex and Con. A flaw to Dex and a boost to Con. Thoughts? Baldur's Gate 3 is co-op. Yeah, I thought about... So, me and my friends, I have 3 friends. We want to 4-man co-op Baldur's Gate 3 if it ever actually comes out. Damn game's been in beta, early access for 2 years. How does it take you 2 years to add the Barbarian class? I'm so unimpressed by Baldur's Gate 3. My friends and I, me and my friends, me want play Baldur's Gate. My main character in 3.5 at PF1 was an Elf Barbarian. Nice! That's awesome. It's just a class race combination you never see. What'd you think of Renala and Godric? Because everyone I know said those were easy, but Margit was hard. I think for when you encounter them, Margit is harder than Godric. Please don't spam. Warlock, I see your messages. But yeah, Renala is easier than Margit and Godric, just because you're of the level you reach by the time you get there. Renala is not bad. I've played around in the beta for BG3. I like it so far for the most part, but I have a friend that keeps begging to join. Ben being the annoying whole time. Woof. Yeah, I don't want to play it until the whole game's out, you know? From what I've heard, it's still just Act 1 or 2. So, like, why would I play a game I can't finish? The dad of one of the kids in my class is one of the PR guys for BG3. Gave me a free copy, but my computer is trash. Oh, no! Yeah, if I got the game for free, I'd absolutely play it. Hell, I'd probably stream it. But, like... I'm not gonna pay $60 for a game I can't finish. Margit was a true test of skill for new players. I disagree. Margit... Alright. I'm gonna make some people real upset and possibly mad at me. Margit is a test of intelligence. Not to beat him, not to learn his pattern, but to leave and come back later. A lot of people call the Tree Sentinel the boss that teaches you to come back later. No. Margit is the boss that teaches you to come back later. I didn't beat Margit till I was level 30 or 40. I did the entire Weeping Peninsula and a little bit of Caelid before I beat Margit. Do not feel like you need to fight Margit right away in Elden Ring. Do your thing. There's so much to do besides him, and come back when you're ready. Sounds tempting to pay $60 to send you BG3 now. I won't stop you because I'm a greedy bastard, but, like, also don't do it. Sprite Barbarians are fun. You know what's better? Sprite Summoner, who rides on the back of their medium companion. Sprite Summoner with Beast Companion, Beast Eidolon is one of my favorite characters. They're apparently not even done with the engine? What? BG3's engine isn't done? I hate the state of gaming. Why? Why is it okay to release a freaking alpha for $60? Elden Ring. I do not think FromSoft is the messiah of gaming. Dark Souls is fine. Elden Ring, yeah, it's one of the best games I've played in the last 5 years. It should not be the gold standard to release a finished game. Patches are fine, and patches should die in Elden Ring. But releasing an alpha or beta for full price should not be the norm. Yeah, level 36, absolutely. You did already send me Clue. Dude, Larian, right? That's the one I'm so disappointed in. Larian released Divinity Original Sin 2, and me and my friend binged the hell out of that over like a month. It was great. They also did BG3, but I don't want to touch the game, because they're still releasing what seem like base features 2 years later. Yeah, like, here's the thing. If they were like, here's the early release, you can buy it for $40, and when it finally comes out, it'll cost $60, sure, that's fine. You know you're buying into an unfinished product. But releasing the unfinished product for retail price, it's BS. It's ridiculous. I'm trying not to swear as much so I don't get demonetized, but it's BS. Yo, see you later, Soifa. Have a good one. Did Divinity Original... Oh, I guess they did do that for Divinity 2. No, you're right. I guess they did. But it didn't take 2 years for the full game to come out. Divinity Original Sin 2 released at Act 1. And then, like, 6 months to a year later, released the entire game. It's been 2 years since Baldur's Gate 3 came out. My little brother's nom de online is Patches. Oh, yeah, their online name is Patches. BG3 is not really released. I remember buying... Dude, same, Dustin. I bought Minecraft for like $10 on my freaking school laptop. Blissy with a $5 donation. You want a fun sprite build? Sprite Summoner with Fey Eidolon and Familiar Master for a Fey Dragon. Oh my god, just Fey on Fey on Fey. It kind of seems messed up for a sprite to have a Fey Eidolon. That feels weird. Although now I'm getting the thought of a sprite whose Eidolon is an alternate reality version of themselves. That's a super cool character concept. Like, their Eidolon can summon them to the first world, and they can summon their Eidolon from the first world to the material plane. And so sometimes the GM is like, yeah, you just disappear. That'd be super cool. My biggest problem with Wrath of the Righteous right now is how much the companion aspect is very micromanagement. In fact, if you don't do quests, that's an issue I have with Kingmaker. So actually, Quinn, when I played Kingmaker, I had a 4-man party. You can have up to 6 companions. I only used myself, Tristian, Amiri, and Ekendio. I didn't even plan to use Ekendio. He was just a cool enough character that I had to use him. Because I don't like micromanaging. So I used my character, Amiri and Tristian, for half the game. And then I picked up Ekendio because he was cool. And I never went any bigger. I didn't use any other NPCs. I didn't make any mercenaries. I just used a 4-man party because I hate micromanaging. It made some of the game harder, for sure. But I played on an easier difficulty, so I didn't mind. So consider that. If you want to use a smaller party, A, you'll level up faster, which is just fun. And B, consider lowering the difficulty. You know, lower the difficulty, use a smaller party. There you go. Kingmaker was created worse for micromanagement. There was a lot. Dude, minor spoilers for Kingmaker. If you don't want spoilers, mute the stream for like 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1. In the final dungeon, for any companion that you didn't finish their side quest, they die or betray you. So because I only finished Amiri, Tristian's, and Ekendio's side quest, I just got to watch everybody else die. Like, literally every other companion died. And it was kind of funny as hell. Okay. Look at me. You can unmute the stream. All gnomes are isekai. The main problem with Kingmaker is you can't romance Amiri. Mood. Heavy mood. Amiri's the best character in Kingmaker. Playing Kingmaker, played it was a bloodbath. Can we get love for Greybore and Regal as examples of their alignment being really good? Regal, I haven't played enough with. I need to play with Regal. I have not played Wrath of the Righteous since my last stream, unfortunately. Greybore. Greybore must be a companion I've ever met. I don't know Greybore, unfortunately. So it's Mass Effect. Is that a thing in Mass Effect? I was able to finish every... Dude, Zam, that's why I never finished Kingmaker. The last dungeon is not fun. Like, I'm not going to play a game if it's not fun. And the fact that in the last dungeon, every encounter is 10 enemies that all cast paralysis. There's nothing fun about that. Like, screw that. They cast paralysis and shoot you with arrows. Let me find it. The funniest freaking text in any game ever. And the reason the final dungeon of Kingmaker is garbage. I'm scrolling. It was a while back. Let me see if I can find it. Because, oh my god, the fact that this text exists in the game is ridiculous. And thankfully, from what I've heard, it does not exist in Wrath of the Righteous. Let me see. There it is. There it is. Save image. This is in Kingmaker. Immunities. Spells with a target. If you target this creature with a spell, they're immune. This creature also puts up a ton of magic that buffs their armor class to over 50. And you can't cast a Dispel Magic. Because Dispel Magic has a target. Exactly, King Neo. Who greenlit this? Like, immune to critical hits? Sure. Immune to poison and precision? That's fine. Immune to spells with a target! Dumb. Absolutely dumb. That is when I quit Kingmaker. That is when I stopped playing the game. Because that is the worst immunity ever. Because it's not even, like, flavorful. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot describe the flavor of a creature who's just immune, not to being targeted, just to spells with a target. You can attack him. You can attack and target him with, like, Demoralize. That's all fine. You're just... It's not even that you're not allowed to target. You can target him with a spell. He's just immune. It's freaking stupid. Do I know Matt Colville? Dude, I love Matt Colville. I need to watch more of his stuff, but I would love to collab with him someday. Can't you target an area? Not with Dispel Magic. I don't think so. At least unless there was an alternate cast option. At that point, might as well give it spell resistance 99, right? Like, who cares? Like, you're not going to use magic, and it sounds toxic. Exactly, qualifications. It is toxic. It literally stopped me playing the game. I never finished. Just so people are aware, I put, like, how many hours did I put into Kingmaker? Let me look up Steam. That's Streamlabs. Steam. How many hours did I put into Kingmaker? Go away, Streamlabs. I don't use you. I need to uninstall you because you're a terrible company. Go away. Go away. Go away. I don't use you anymore. How many hours did I put into Kingmaker? So I have 98 hours in Kingmaker. Subtracting my stream, my initial playthrough, and times I might have left it on, I put 60 to 70 hours into Kingmaker. And I quit on the final dungeon. That should describe how awful that dungeon is. Like, 60 to 70 hours. It takes a lot for me to be like, okay, I'm just not going to finish this game. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Now, when Alec has defense about that, that's also how it works with 1E. I mean, send me a 1E monster that's immune to spells with a target. Like, come on. That's just... It feels like a first-time GM who decided to run a level 20 campaign and was like, oh, wait, there's all these single-target spells that are really strong. I'll just make him immune to all of them. Like, it's not fun. It's not fun at all. Quinn, what big event do you think will take place in 2E? The biggest event of 1E was closing the World Wound. What do I predict for 2E? That's a tough one. I will say, that's been an interesting fact about 2E campaigns so far. even though they're 1 to 20, the adventure paths are never world-altering, it seems. They're preventative. Like, I know some of them, you, like, stop Rovagug from waking up, and you stop things from happening. But none of the 2E adventure paths have been, like, world-changing. My prediction... Do I have a prediction? I feel like I really don't. I wish I did. I really wish I did have a prediction for 2E. I hope it's not Rovagug again. That would be boring. Like, if they're like, uh-oh, Rovagug's waking up again! I would love to see Zon-Kuthon or Nordgorber get the limelight. Like, Nordgorber lying their way into, like, corrupting the other gods, or Zon-Kuthon spreading the undead from Ustalav across Galarian would be super cool. I predict there is nothing. That's fair qualification. CRPGs are slow. If you don't have a lot of time to waste on them, you will not make progress. Like, CRPGs, it's sad, but you can't play a CRPG for an hour a day and expect to make progress. It sucks. It's unfortunate, you know? CRPGs require like 3 to 5 hours of time per session. It's like a D&D game. Most of the 1E APs weren't game-changing either. Where'd it go? Just a few and a lot near the end. Interesting. Spell immunity you're talking about is called plot armor. It's not, though! Because you have to kill them to progress! It's dumb! I think they'll solve Absalom leadership at some point. I don't know. I'm actually not familiar with Absalom's leadership. I should look into that. Template name are immune to any physical spell or effect that targets a specific number of creatures with the except... What is that? Is that from first edition? God. Something's up. So, TK, bring that up. I ran a campaign with the Whispering Tyrant. You know what I did? I allowed my players to go on side quests to assemble the Shield of Erodin and use that to weaken the Tyrant. The campaign ended at like level 13, 14. But because they had the Shield of Erodin, the Tyrant was weakened too. That is a piece of advice I'd love to give to people. I just splashed alcohol in my eye. That's going to burn. That's a piece of advice I'd love to give to people. Never be afraid to use ridiculous endgame bosses. But also never be afraid to give your ally or your party the ability to weaken them. End the campaign when it should end. If people are losing interest and you want to start a new campaign, but people are only level 8 or 9, find a way to wrap it up. Wrap it up in the next few levels. Don't force it to 20, or nobody will have fun. Developing a campaign that has firearms technology advanced throughout the game. Would it be worse to start with nerfed guns, or to have guns slowly become open? Ugh, that's rough. I think if I were doing that, I would start with the party not having access to guns, not allowing the inventor or the gunslinger. However, as things progress, if events are literally world-changing, like firearms and inventions are being introduced to the world at an alarming rate, I would allow my players to reclass. It might be weird, there might be some immersion break there, but for the sake of storytelling, if the world went from no firearms to a functioning arquebus in 2 in-game months, I would allow my players to reclass. Is Erodin canonically dead? I have no idea. It's so blurry, I have no idea. I think he's canonically dead, but he still has worshippers. I think that's what it comes down to. If the GM doesn't allow it to be realistic, it's in my estimation armor to make it especially hard for the players. A GM who is just making something hard for the sake of difficulty, yeah, I count as plot armor. A GM who doubles a creature's hit points because it died too fast is technically plot armor. Yo, have a wonderful night, Clockwork. Thanks for hanging out for so long. This has been so fun. The new crit system of 2E scares me. However, I like the idea of how the turn system works. Did I have any doubts before transitioning into 2E? Not a one. No. The crit system can be intimidating, but remember, it's available to players and enemies. So sure, your players might get crit. I should preface that. They will get crit hard. I have one-shot my players on multiple occasions. But my players have one-shot enemies on multiple occasions. What you'll find is it often speeds up combat and adds stakes. It adds tension. For those fights where your players do something right or are over-leveled, they get to feel super powerful. Your fighter just crit on a 14, he gets to feel like Superman for a couple of turns. That fight where your players have an AC of 21 and the enemy just rolled a 37, that lets them know it's time to run. It allows for a lot more information to be shared if you're sharing the attack rolls as a GM. When your players know their attack bonus, if they roll a 12 and add plus 10 to that, and they roll a 22 total, and that misses, they're like, okay, this thing has a high AC. When they roll a 16 plus 12 and get a 27, and they miss, they know it's time to run. This is a lot harder to communicate in something with a banded number system like 5e. In 5e, if you roll a 17 and you miss, you might just think, oh, it has a high AC. That's how the system works. Like, there are level 3 enemies with 17 AC. There are level 10 enemies with 17 AC. But in Pathfinder, if something has a 30 armor class, and you have a plus 10 to hit, you know it's not time to fight that. Maybe freaking run or think of a new strategy. So, at first glance, the plus 10, minus 10 crit system might be intimidating, and I do not blame you one bit. It's very different. But at the end of the day, it improves the system drastically, and 2E would not be the same game without it. I have missed a lot of messages because I just went on a freaking spiel. Aaron is dead. He is dead. Yes, he is dead. He is dead. I loved your Susie reference in the turn when he... Did I put a... Oh, what the... the Barbarian's, like, claws out? I don't know if that was... that was not intentionally a Susie reference, but I feel like subconsciously it might have been. Favorite off-Galarian material plane location? Probably, it's in Forgotten Realms. The port. Waterdeep. I think if I was ever to run a campaign in 5e, it would be in Waterdeep. Hogwarts Legacy. Looks cool. I know people are like, oh, don't support Rowling because she's a terrible person. And I agree. But the game does look freaking rad. Where that lands in the spectrum of, like, acceptance and goodwill, I don't know. Hogwarts Legacy. It looks like the Harry Potter game I wish we got a decade ago, you know what I mean? My GM loves to constantly double HP of minor monsters. Ugh, that's a red flag. Minor monsters, I don't care. If you're fighting a group of goblins and you one-shot one of them, cool. That's fantastic. If I get to say... My favorite thing, and if you... Okay. GMs, listen up. If you are GMing a game... Hi, Ka. Yes, I forgot I have a dog. Hello, dog. You want to come up here? You want to come say hi? If you are GMing a game, the best thing you can say... Describe your kill. I don't care if the enemy has 1 hit point or 30 hit points. If your player drops it to 0 HP, ask them. Describe your kill. Do not do this for every enemy. But if it's a boss fight or a particularly cinematic moment, ask the player to describe their kill. This gives the player agency. This lets them do something cool. This lets the player feel in control of the story for 2 in-game seconds as they slide between the mummy's legs and slash their greatsword straight up, splitting it in twain. Who cares if it's not in the rules? They killed the monster. They get to describe it. It's a lot of fun. AD&D had a ton of monsters with blanket immunities you weren't meant to kill, but were meant as punishments. TTRPG should not have punishments. That's my hot take. It's my second hot take of the night. Never punish your players. That sounds weird. Like, obviously, if your players do something wrong, there should be consequences, but those consequences should not be a punishment. Your players should feel like they did something wrong in the world. They should not feel like, ugh, the GM punished me. That is not a good feeling. You want them to feel like they messed up. You don't want them to feel like you, the person, have a vendetta against them. Guns were invented to allow large amounts of groups to safely engage at range. In a fantasy setting, magic fills that space, so firearms might never be invented. Fair. Yeah, I think if humans had magic, we would never have firearms. Being one-shot is often interesting. Disagree. And I could be wrong here. From a story standpoint, being one-shot could absolutely be interesting. I agree there. From a gameplay perspective, it is not fun. I have been one-shot before my turn in combat before. I got to sit there for an hour listening to other people play the game while I looked at Facebook and did nothing. Again, if it is a very quick moment where you can get brought back in by a healer or something, sure, more power to you. If you can't afford to bring the player back and they get one shot and they don't get to even take a turn, it is not fun for the player involved. And ideally, the game is fun for everyone at the table. Have I played Way of the Wicked? Currently playing it, love it. I've never even heard of Way of the Wicked. I'll look that up after the stream. Guns are easier. Oh. How far back was I? Oh my god, I think I was way back. I think my chat was delaying a little bit. Puppy, dog. Yes, she is a puppy dog. Reward your players, not punish. Absolutely. Yo, Gabe, putting it perfectly. Talk to the players. Don't kill them. Don't be... Now, all right, I'm actually going to counter that at the same time. Don't be afraid to kill your players. I'm going to give 2 examples here real quick. The first is to my poor friend Daniel. We had been playing the same campaign for 7 months, and he was a wizard in 1st edition D&D. To put this into perspective, he was level 7 with 11 hit points. Because he had a -1 constitution, he would roll a d4 every level and subtract 1. So level 7, 11 hit points. He gets confident. He steps out and casts Blind on a spellcasting enemy. And he fails. The enemy realizes that he just cast Blind, turns around, and casts a 3d8 spell back at him. I roll nearly max damage. I roll 23 damage. Because that is more than twice his hit points, it is instant death. It was an ice spike, so his head froze, shattered, and his body slumped to the floor. It was unfortunate, but it was also incredibly impactful. His allies were crushed. I was crushed as the GM that this happened. But if I lied and pretended the player didn't die, the threat of death becomes meaningless. I did not cheat. I did not try to kill him. But the dice decided it was his time to go. And I respected that. And that keeps the threat of death alive. Along that similar thought process, about 10 sessions later, the party, with my player Daniel rolling up a new cleric, are taking on a dragon. Now, they know this is an evil dragon, but one of them opens the door to the dragon's chamber just to try to talk to it. Coming through the door is a blast of freezing cold breath. This player, I pull aside. I pull this player into a one-on-one chat and say, hey, this would be a sucky way to lose your character. If you want, I give you two choices. Your character can be one-shot killed by this dragon breath, or he can suffer a permanent disfigurement. They took the disfigurement. They were able to just dodge, but the ice dragon's breath froze and cracked off their ear. As thus, that character suffered a permanent disadvantage to all perception checks requiring listening. These are both of these situations are choices I made on the fly as a GM. In the heat of combat, if death happens, you need to respect it. Before combat happens, or in roleplay, if a deadly situation arises and they happen to fail a single saving throw, talk to the player. It is very different from a personal perspective if you lose your character in combat versus losing them in roleplay. I think the TLDR here is don't kill your characters in roleplay. Give them a chance. However, if they're in combat and on the receiving end of a ridiculous attack, respect the dice. That being said, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. But I have a dog on my lap. She's just been chilling here. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Hope you guys will stick around, and I'll be back in a minute. Oh god! We good? The dog unplugged my headphones. Leave the dog! Alright. Alright, Kyle, you have a job. That job is entertainment. Go, entertain. You're bad at this. I'll be right back. All right, what'd I miss? What? Dog's frozen? No. Huge musky dance. Why do the dragon ancestries gotta be musky? More dog. Should have kept camera and put dog on chair. Dog would not have sat on this chair. Dog barely sits in place for a minute. So fireball does do. Do I still have that? Wait, do I still have the ad? Darn, I don't have the old school ad anymore. That's too bad. What if Ka is the real streamer and I'm just a drone? Don't be ridiculous. Ridiculous. That's just stupid talk. Oh man. Can't believe the dog jumped into the chair and said hello in perfect English. Yo, Mr. Ruan, thank you for the 5 rubles. I think those are rubles. Started a couple of months ago for the first time. Any tips for equipment for a cleric gnome focused on healing and diplomacy? So I'm going to assume you're a cloistered cleric, so you don't have any medium or heavy armor proficiency. If you have no dexterity, like if you have like no bonuses to dexterity, maybe leather. But if you're a gnome, I think you have a penalty to strength. So your best bet might just be traveler's clothing. As you're going to have a low armor class regardless. If you're focused on healing and diplomacy, you're going to have a low armor class. Get used to that and focus on your positioning. As for weapons, unless you took gnome weapon familiarity, you're going to be stuck to the basic dagger or club or maybe a staff. Unfortunately, there's not a lot there that can really do you many favors. It just comes with the nature of the class. If you're going for a cloistered cleric of the cloth focused on healing, you're going to be incredibly squishy. Now remember, your heal does have a 30-foot range, and you can move 25 feet for a single action. That being said, as long as you're within 50 feet of your main martial classes or characters who are going to be taking damage, you can always move for 1 action and heal for 2 action to gain that beautiful 1d8 plus 8 or 2d8 plus 16 or whatever based on the spell level. So my best bet would be to keep yourself about 50 feet away from combat, be careful of ranged enemies, and as for equipment, pray you get access to runes sooner rather than later. Who's Kalungo? Kalungo's my 5e ranger, who I will never regret playing. Also, I'm blurry, but oh well. Can I like up this a little bit? That's better. Can I be back in focus, please? Can I be in focus, please? Why am I, like, slightly out of focus this entire time? Why am I, like, slightly out of focus? My hand is... Hey, there we go. Making a human ranger has some extra ability points. Cat, is this in 5e or 2e? Cloister... I missed something. Scroll, please. Scroll. Cloistered clerics don't... Cloistered don't even get... No, cloistered definitely get light. Every class in the game gets light armor. Put your head in front of the big white reflection. You mean this? There you go. I just won't move anymore. But what about this beautiful map of Absalom? And the giant glowing reflection of my ring light. That casts blur. My least favorite trope in fantasy is how they take place post-Golden Age. That's fair. No TTRPG, to my knowledge at least, has tackled the forming of magic. The Stone Age of magic, as it were. When the Age of Metal and Iron was cemented, but magic was in a crude era. I think that's an untapped potential. I agree. Do I need more adult beverages? No, I've still got 2 more of these. I'm good, babe. Thank you, though. Don't tell Bria I'm watching during the game. Des, pay attention to your game. Don't be like me. For once, I'd like to see this that takes place when Magic is at its peak. I disagree. I think Magic is at its peak in most systems. I would like to see Magic when it's being formed. What camera do I use? Logitech Brio. If you want to take my opinion, Casual Samuli, Logitech Brio, not quite worth the money. It has some trouble focusing, and it's decent quality when it's focused. But if it is trying to focus, it'll kind of mess up a lot. I think I just need to disable autofocus. 2E, Cat, and you're trying to make a... Oh my god, come on. 2E... Making a human ranger have some extra ability points. Never be afraid of Constitution and Charisma. Constitution keeps you alive in combat. Charisma just helps you not have people hate you. How many domains do you get as a cleric? You get every single domain associated with the deity you worship, but when you take something like Domain Initiate, you only get 1 focus spell from those domains. I'm indeed a cloistered cleric. We don't get light armor. Only honor? Are you serious? Gah, cleric. I understand why you're so weak, but also it feels so bad. Again, they had to do it. A cleric gets, like, potentially 4 extra spell slots at level 1. Remember, it's your charisma modifier plus 1 in free spell slots for harm or heal, depending on your deity. Like, they had to balance that somehow. You're not my mom. Do I have a cat? I don't, sadly. The girlfriend is allergic to cats, and I love her more than cats. Question from earlier. What 1E for 1E? What is your preference for character advancement after 20? I will say again, I've only played like 4 or 5 sessions of First Edition in my life. I've never even played a campaign in any system to level 20. The highest level I've played D&D is about level 12. The highest level I've ever played Pathfinder 2E is level 10. So unfortunately, I have no experience in higher level play. But personally, if I hit level 20, I would want the final boss to be at that level, and then probably start a new campaign. Mythic is cool, other options are cool, but personally, I'd like to start a new campaign at that point. What 1E classes would you like to see in 2E? Probably Scald, Blood Rager, and Slayer. Slayer would be exceedingly difficult in 2E, because it's literally just going to be a Ranger Rogue, which in 2E are very different classes, and giving them even half of both of their abilities would be overpowered, so I don't know how they're going to handle that. Charisma does both if you're undead. Quinn, from the Mythic Monster book, which one do you think you are most likely to use? The Yeti. Because you can use the Yeti without making it a bad guy. And you can train your party members in that Yeti archetype that comes with it. It's not called a Yeti, is it the Wendigo or something like that? But that is the one I would definitely most likely use because it is not an enemy. Like I said, most of my campaigns don't reach, I've never had a campaign to reach level 20, and most of the monsters in the Mythic Monster book for 2E are like level 15 plus, so I would never use them as monsters unless I happen to get a campaign at that level. I always wondered how the quest for Sky took literal centuries? I'm afraid, Ian, I don't know much about the quest for Sky. Let's see, on the plane. Yeah, I'm afraid I'm not quite sure what you're talking about there. If you are dumping charisma, let other people talk. Okay, cool. I like the second half of that message. Zam has sent a very good message. If you are dumping charisma, let other people talk. Or have fun role-playing. Even when I play a character with terrible charisma, I will strike up conversations and try to tell people my opinion, my thoughts, and whatnot. And when my GM says, roll me diplomacy, I go, uh-oh. I mentioned it like 2 hours ago, but my human wizard, Ezekiel Pondwater, had like an 8 charisma and no ranks in persuasion. And sometimes that would come up, and I'd roll like a 7, and it would suck. But hey, I'd still roleplay it, and that was the fun part. You do not need a maxed out charisma to have fun role-playing conversation. People might not agree with you as often, but if you go in ready for that, you can still have a ton of fun. Frick, marry, kill. Elf, rogue, dwarf, gunslinger, gnome, druid. I would frick Mauricio. Mauricio seems like she'd be wild. I would marry the dwarf gunslinger, who I will never remember the name of. And unfortunately, I think I would kill the gnome druid. She's one of my least favorite iconics, just because there's like no information about her. I don't know her name. All I know is she has a tiger. That is it. And the dwarf gunslinger just seems like a stand-up gal. She's cute, she's awesome, and she would protect me and my lack of physical defense. Thank you, Chaos. Played a cleric, and literally any hit was a crit. Oof. Let me run Frozen Flame for you. Whoa, God, my chat keeps like auto-updating, and I realize just how much I've missed. Oh, I've missed so much. Oh, my word. I did play a level 20 character in 5e, but only because they started at level 14. Fair. 12. That's a lot of the game you never experienced. Oh, Lucife! Hello! Oh, my word. Glad to have you here. Yes and no. I'm curious to see a Pathfinder graph, but I looked up a graph on D&D Beyond that says only 10% of campaigns make it past, like, level 12. It's like 3% of campaigns are level 13, 2% are 14, 1% are 15, and like 0% are 15 through 19. And then like 1 or 2% are level 20 because they start there. Like, it's tough. And Pathfinder is better about it. But once you get past level like 10 to 12, you need to start fighting really insane things. And the way I design my campaigns, it's tough to be like, and suddenly, the avatar of Rovagug appears, you know? It's very easy to be like, suddenly, boars ambush your camp. And it's also easy to be like, suddenly, the drow surround you and demand your goods. But once you hit a certain level, as an improv-focused DM, it becomes far more difficult. And I will admit, I am 100% improv-focused. I still write some prepare. I probably prepare 30% and improv 70%. Highest you've run is 17, that's fair. Have you ever considered an Epic 6 campaign? You stop leveling at 6, but get XP for feats. I don't know how that works. Weird. You stop leveling at... I don't know what you mean. It sounds like you stop leveling at 6, but you keep leveling up. I don't know what that means. What is your favorite archetype? Eldritch Archer. Eldritch Archer is just so fun. It was the Magus before the Magus, and the fact that you can do it from so far away is just so fun. Cries and Dwarf Lord. Will you be interested in playing a Psychic? Probably. Yo, what's up, Luigi? I see you on Twitter all the time. Cheers. I'll probably never roll a Psychic. I don't remember much about them. I know their subclasses are like big bonuses and big penalties is like their whole class identity. Overall, I'm just not into psionics. It's not my thing. Like, I don't know. Psionic is cool, but, you know, I've never been into Jean Grey for the X-Men. I've never been into any psychic or psionic character. I like psychic magic items. You know, I like Ascending Stone. I even like the Message Cantrip a lot. But a whole character based around psychic and psionic powers, I'd rather just save that for the Mind Flayers. -4 Charisma mod, you mark your territory by beating on it. Hey, that's -4 Intelligence mod. It's rude. My Dwarf Rogue in 5e has a dump in Charisma, but unlike most people with low Charisma, he isn't shy or talks little. He talks too much. Those are so fun. Is that because D&D pre-made adventures are lower level? Probably. That's probably part of it. Part of the reason that most campaigns end by level 10. If you're level 20 and not casually punching gods, what are you even doing? Nothing. That's the problem with level 20. You have to be fighting gods. 5e gets weird. 5e is not balanced post level 12. It's literally not balanced for after level 10 to 12. Like, watch an XP. There's an XP to level 3 video that goes into detail about it, and it's great. Every time I catch up on text, there's more text. Do the campaigns stop because people lose interest or because the team gets wiped? I think it's the third part. It's because it's hard to do a campaign to level 20. It's fun and easy to be like, your campaign is to grow strong enough to stop the Lich from corrupting the land. That Lich is level 14. So you all reach level 12, get this magic artifact that helps you fight him and defeat him. Congrats, you beat the Lich, you're all level 13. Now what? You know? The only way a 1 to 20 really works, in that context at least, is like, oh, but one of the evil gods was manipulating that Lich, and now you need to stop them. Or like, from level 1, it's a deity causing issues. It is very difficult to do a 1 to 20 consecutive, consistent story. The only way I can think of doing that is constant plot twists and updates that say, oh, but this guy was in charge. Oh, but this guy was in charge of that. Oh, but this guy... Yeah, and it leads up to killing a god. That's like the only way 1 to 20 works. As someone who preps way more than improv, I love high-level stories. True. Absolutely true. If you prepare more, you will be able to handle high-level much better. Yo, see you later, Quinn. It was an absolute pleasure, and thank you for your generous donations all night. This was so much fun. Thank you. I can tell you're a lore fan, absolutely. Plan on doing more Building X as PF2 characters? Not at the moment, unfortunately, Doctor. They just, aside from the Jacob one, which popped off because he did a reaction video to it, the other one did not do that well performance-wise. The tavern one. I'm drunk enough that I can't even think of it. Why can't I think of his name? It's not Jamie. Oh my god, my brain. I do still want to do a Runesmith one at some point. What was it called? Oh my god, my brain. Quincy! That's the one. Quincy. Oh my god. Yeah, to this point, even Quincy's video only has 3,000 views, which is really, really poor for the channel nowadays. That was poor for the channel back then, you know what I mean? I would love to do more. They just didn't perform that well. They're helpful, like I said, if the creator themselves, like, responds or reacts or brings life to them. But if they don't, they tend to fail a little bit. Yo, what's up, Video Maniac? I'm currently GMing 2... Oh my god, the auto-update chat. I'm currently GMing 2 homebrew campaigns from 1 to 20 with 3 players each. 3 players is my favorite way to play, by the way. 4-player groups is like the average. I love 3 players, personally. They're right now level 16 and 17. Love so much combat playing high-level monsters. It can be fun, absolutely. The hard part about high-level monsters is not outright OTKing your players and not getting one-turn killed yourself. E6 means your class level caps at 6, but every 1,000 XP above that you get a feat. Weird. I don't know how I feel about that. That doesn't sound fun. High level on 5e is super difficult to balance, yeah. 5e is not balanced, period. 5e is balanced from 1 to 10. I will defend that to the day I die. But after 10, it completely falls apart. Would you be more afraid of entering a goblin or a dwarven nudist colony? Goblin. Dwarven nudist colony, I'd feel like I'd be comfortable, because dwarves are so confident, you know? I'd just be like, yeah, this is how it is. But goblins would make it weird. Goblins would be sniffing, because goblins are almost like if humans and dogs met in the middle. I feel like goblins sniff each other a lot. I'd be uncomfortable. Even if you don't care to balance 5e at high level, it's becoming immensely difficult to challenge players. That too, absolutely. Regal, is that you? I see that profile pic. I see that profile pic, and that looks like Regal. Regal, that better be you. Yeah, no, GMs have not been given any tools whatsoever to balance 5e after level 10. They're like, oh, have fun, it's the Wild West, enjoy. The Tarrasque exists, yeah, but the Tarrasque is, like, unkillable unless you give players a plot-convenient device. Like, unless you give them a way to nerf the Tarrasque is going to ignore all spells, be pretty much unhittable, and just deal damage to everyone around them. It's like a JRPG, you randomly fight God at the end, basically. So the plot of a 1 to 20 campaign is Dragon Ball Z? Yes! Every time your players get stronger, a super much stronger threat appears until they get strong enough to beat him. I think best way to do a 1 to 20 is break it up into different arcs. Agreed. Yes. Make a 1 to 20 campaign works best if there's like a 1 to 10 arc, maybe a 10 to 15 arc, and a 16 to 20 arc. Yes. And I touched on that earlier where I'm like, oh, so-and-so was actually behind it. But never be afraid to make them separate. You know, your characters stopped the level 13 Lich. Cool. They earned 5 years of peace. But now the level 18 Devil is trying to take over the world. And that's a new 12 to 18 arc. Once they finish that, maybe give them 20 more years of peace kind of thing. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid of a time jump to give a reason for the new arc. Maybe Critical Role characters, if 2 characters would be interesting. I wish, if I knew enough about Critical Role, I would, Jackal. Sadly, I don't watch Critical Role. Masha doesn't care what your character tries to seduce. Fair. What do you think about snares in PF2? I just started a new game as a Kobold snare crafter, and I am hyped. Kobold snares are a little bit weaker than something like a Ranger or a Snare Master. Snares can be really good, but you need to make them your entire identity to keep up, unfortunately. Epic 6 also means the power curve becomes a ramp instead of a climb up a mountain. Is Epic 6 like a thing I've never heard about? I've never heard of Epic 6, but apparently it's a thing. Yo, Regal! Good to have you here. Y'all, in case you're unaware, Baz, B-A-Z-S in chat here, is responsible for all of the iconic art. If you've ever gone to nonat1s.com and seen Rugo and Kalani and Shaka, those are all Regal, and we would not be where we are without him. Wizards hates DMs since players since DMs came to the show. That time I got reincarnated as a Tarrasque. Making a 1 to 20 campaign isn't too difficult as a GM. It's been my plan literally every campaign I've made. Problem is we keep getting sidetracked and just starting new campaigns. So that's part of the problem. The very moment your 1 to 20 campaign hits a lull, you start thinking of new campaign ideas. I'm not saying 1 to 20 is impossible, but I am saying it's difficult to make it cohesive, immersive, and engaging all the way from 1 to 20. In the future, I want to run a 1 to 20 MR10 campaign. What is MR10? Mythic rank 10? Is that what that means? Is that a first edition thing? I'm not familiar with Mythic rank, if that's what you're talking about. I just love my PCs real fast. I do firmly agree with you there, Video Maniac. Especially at early levels, quick level ups is the way to go. For example, my Friday campaign has only been going about 3 or 4 months. We've probably had 15 sessions. They're already level 5. You know? Like, 1 to 3 was probably, they reached level 2 after the first session or 2. Level 3 after session 4. level 4 after probably session 6, and level 5 after like session 10. It's all about slowly increasing that gap until you can experience each level as its own unique threat range. It's an issue I've had as a GM where I do tend to level up almost too fast. Where, like, they'll have one combat, but they'll test out their new abilities, and then level up and gain new abilities. And the problem with this is because they'll have a session of roleplay, and then a session of combat, and then they'll level up. You know, they got to use their new combat abilities one time before getting replaced by a better one. And I think that's wrong. I do want to level up slower, but leveling up faster is a way to keep your players engaged in the campaign. I also level my NPCs really. 5 years of PC equals training montage, basically. You could shrink a boulder with a spell throw in the... I don't know how I feel about that kind of thing, Creative Burst. I definitely respect the creativity, but the whole, like, I cast Shrink on the boulder and throw it into its mouth and dispel it to kill him in one hit. I don't know. It's awkward. Like, if we were using real-world physics, sure, that would absolutely work. But in real-world physics, there's no such thing as magic. So it's a fine line. Got any tips or references for someone who really wants to start GMing but still has little experience even as a player? Ruan, my best advice is go for it. You can look up guides, you can look up first-time advice. You're only gonna get good at GMing if you try and practice. It's a skill set, you know? You don't get better at any skill by not doing it. Your best bet is to be like, hey friends, can I run a game for you? And if they say yes, you go for it. It's gonna be stressful. It's gonna be awkward. And you're gonna be like, you know, what am I doing? But everyone starts somewhere. You know what I mean? And DMs are no exception. Every DM starts somewhere. Every DM has to have a first campaign they run. And hopefully your players will understand that. E6 was mainly a 3.5 PF1 thing. Literally left running one to this and walking on. Interesting. Cool. Alright, guys. Well, the girlfriend is home.
Hi.
And I have streamed for an hour longer than I expected to. I did not expect to go for 3 hours. I expected to go for like 1.5 to 2. But, thank you for hanging out. I am drunk, and I'm gonna go cuddle with these two.
Except you said you didn't like gnome druids, so now we're fighting.
Did I say that?
When you were choosing between the 3 iconics.
Not your gnome druid.
I understand, but that is one of your iconics, so best luck.
Yeah, but our iconic is like half bear. Alright, y'all. I hope you have a wonderful night. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you on Wednesday in video form.
Bye.
Peace.